Roll with headlines and punchlines for January 12, 2026, the 357th day of the Sex Offender Administration. A 24-year-old Mississippi man, Derica M. Moore, was arrested for the killing of 6 people: his father, brother, uncle, 7-year-old cousin, a church pastor, and the pastor's brother at 3 locations during a Friday night rampage in a rural area. It is not clear why Moore killed all of those people when it was his parents that named him Derica. U.S. prosecutors are investigating Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell over his testimony last summer about the central bank's building renovation project. Jerome Powell, come on down. You're the next contestant on Trump's Not Right in the Head. Actor and director Timothy Busfield has been charged with child sex abuse after New Mexico authorities issued an arrest warrant on Friday. One child alleged that Busfield had touched his genitals several times. Both say Busfield touched them inappropriately. The abuse allegedly occurred between late 2022 and early 2024 during the shooting of the Fox crime drama The Cleaning Lady. In light of recent events, the show is being renamed The Grooming Actor. A disturbance at a prison in northern Georgia Sunday afternoon left 3 inmates dead and 12 more injured along with a guard. There was no word on what the inmates were fighting over. There was no word, but there was a sentence. The sentence was, "Who fucks the new guy first?" This has been the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll with headlines and punchlines for January 12th, 2026, the 357th day of the Sex Offender Administration. Join me live at the Church of Last Resort Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Minddog TV.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact.
Blah.
Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
We got a cup of coffee in here, please.
What the hell is with the redness, brother? Brother Redman. I don't know. Oh, that makes it redder. Redder and whiter. Ooh, unread. Something is very, very weird. I can't worry about it now.
Damn, shit. And hot.
Come on, baby, push my button.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
I got cracked with the bone. Look at this shovel.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
With a bone.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
Good morning, folks. Monday does come too soon. It is Monday, January 12th, 2026. And if you haven't noticed, the Civil War has begun, but only one side seems to be fighting, and they are demolishing the other side. And by the time the other side figures out that the war has started, and I'm on that side, by the time my side has figured out that the war has started, we'll all be dead. And so that's the good news for you. Happy Monday. Seriously. A lot of people are not connecting the dots here. And I'm not saying like I know better. I'm saying personal experience getting assaulted by ICE has alerted me to the real hazard that we face. A lot of people are still at the point where they don't think twice when leaving the house. I don't. I'm not at that place. I think twice. On excuse me, Saturday night, I had a paint party to go to, and it was in a, let's just say, Hispanic area of Long Island, New York. And with everything going on, and with what happened to me 2 months ago, I'm thinking there's a good chance ICE is doing raids in this area, and I'm going to go through this all again. And I'm very vigilant about like looking around, making sure my surroundings, and making sure I don't stop in a Mexican bodega for a bottle of water or anything. I'm bringing my own water. But the truth is, at some point, normal Americans are going to figure out it's not just normal Americans, I say. American naturalized citizens or natural born citizens are going to figure out it's not just immigrants they're going after. Anybody who looks brown, black, not so white, not so Aryan, is subject to being stopped without a warrant, or subject to being beat up and with no due process whatsoever. And when we get to the point where people are afraid to leave their homes, maybe they'll want to start fighting back. But by then it will be way too late. Way too. Hear the voice? The voice is going. Anyway, it's not a happy time. And I don't know, people, oh, you're making too much and making too much of this. They are murdering people. I don't know if people who follow me on social media. So last night I reposted a video in Brooklyn, Minnesota, not Brooklyn, Long Island, where an ICE agent is got a woman handcuffed, and he's dragging her into a porta potty. Now that doesn't seem like police action. And what's he doing in there? Oh, well, they're not responsible, according to Tom Homan. They're not responsible for women who get raped while in holding. When are we going to start fighting back? And I have already answered that. By the time we start fighting back, the game will be over. So, America, nice knowing you. Where's that asteroid? That's all I got to say. We have no guest today. Oh, look at this. What is this going on? I get distracted by, sorry. I'll get back into it in a moment. We have no guest for you today, so we're just going to babble on about how America is over with. That's what we're going to do today. If you want to join in, we got a pretty good week as far as guests go. We have some musical guests coming on, and we have a friend who, how do I even start? A friend who I have not seen personally in almost 50 years. About 46 years or something like that. Last time I saw him, he's coming on Thursday. His name is Mitch Samuel. Last time I saw Mitch, it was at a place called Bart's Place in Lindenhurst, New York, and he was playing in a band called Vavoom. And Colonel Mike, General Mike, President Mike, Dictator Mike, last man to walk on the moon. He was in the band at the time, and he was, it was like getting close to Easter. And he was wearing a bunny outfit and doing Jim Morrison songs. And we were going to be playing there. My band was going to be playing at this place a week later, and they were giving us a promo. That's the last time I saw Mitch. So it will be, and then after he left the band Vavoom, somehow I took his place as keyboard player. And listen, he's a virtuoso. He's like a really, really competent, and he was even then, keyboard player. And I'm like a hack. You've seen me type. I don't play keyboard quite like I type, but I'm a hack. And somehow I took his place. So you can imagine how bad the band was after he left. Anyway, so he'll be with us Thursday. Colton Burris will be with us on Wednesday, I believe, out of Arizona, part of Granite Music Sounds, a studio for independent artists out there in Prescott, Arizona. We got some people coming on this week, so there's that. Anyway, right now it's time to play a commercial. I got to get some new commercials to play, and I got to find my True Fire commercial because True Fire is getting back on board here. But for now,
Mind Bloom is helping people achieve life-changing clinical and personal breakthroughs, alchemizing both the psychedelic medication, psychiatric care from psychiatric clinicians, coaches, we call psychedelic guides, and a lot of content and meditations and programs into this really transformational experience that, because it's delivered at home, costs a lot less and is a lot more convenient for people to receive.
All right, sure, whatever. All right, good morning. In the room with me now is a man who has not yet been assaulted by ICE, GD Fenderson. Good morning, GD.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com.
What happened?
Oh no! Order your official Mind Dog Mantra a Day calendar from MindDogTV.com/merch. Order today and get 2 free affirmations. That's right. Go to MindDogTV.com merch for all the stuff you don't need but ought to have. Support your local mercenaries and enjoy the suffering.
Can you give me an example of a affirmation that might come with the calendar there, or whatever?
Okay. If at first you don't succeed, try chewing them.
That's not an affirmation. An affirmation is yes, that just is true. That's affirming. What? So
okay.
Yes, we got your money. We got your money is an affirmation, right?
Oh, okay. How about this one then? What the fuck you looking at? How's that for an affirmation?
That's not affirmed. What did Kevin Benson send you? The Travis, whatever, the De Niro. You looking at me? Is that what? Because he just sent me a clip of De Niro.
No.
Taxi driver. Oh, no. What the fuck you looking at? It's close enough to you looking at me that I thought.
Oh no, that was just
coincidence.
There are no coincidences. There's only the universe acting in a haphazard way to make us think that things are ready to happen on purpose.
There's no sense. There's no sense to anything, man. I just don't know where we go from here. I'm to the point where every time I leave the house, I'm wondering what's going to go wrong now. I'm going to barricade myself in. And listen, I'm way ahead of the curve, but some people are going to figure it out sooner or later. Like, this is America now. We live in a show me a paper society. It's not good. So I don't know. You don't seem to care. You got your bulbs to plant. You're going to just sit there. Westminster, Maryland.
I don't know why people assume those things about me. I don't. When I say people, I mean you. You're the only one making that assumption about me.
I know that.
But I was trying not to make it too personal.
I was assuming that.
Yeah.
About you.
Yeah.
I was assuming that you don't like people assuming about you.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that assumption at all.
And I mean me.
And people should assume that I don't like that assumption.
I did assume that.
Okay.
But I didn't care.
Okay.
All right.
Now I know that. Let's say I don't do the rage going on TikTok looking for people to fight with thing or
I haven't been on TikTok ever. I don't go on TikTok.
Whatever it is, TikTok, X, or whatever. I don't go on social media looking for fights. I usually, I just make a statement, and if people have a tendency to want to fight over it, or because this is my statement, then yeah, I'll engage. And that's only long enough to insult them, to remind them that they really aren't smart enough to be discussing these things with me.
Sunshine wants to know what you could do. You can get me some uranium. Can you get me some uranium?
Well, there's, again, it depends on what. I don't know what everybody's skill set is. I mean, if you want to call, I am in favor of people calling or writing letters to their Congress people and their representatives.
Strongly worded letters?
No, it don't have to be strongly worded. It could be full of anger and hate. Because strongly worded is where what's his face? Chuck Schumer stops. He does the strongly worded letter, which I think means he uses bold italics. I think
Right.
that's what that means.
And so
And underlined.
let's just say I wrote a mildly worded, just a worded, a worded letter. That's a letter with words in it for people who are keeping
But
score.
a bunch of, for example, when I say like my biggest the theme in my head right now is I am tired of these government sanctioned snuff films. Okay, that's my theme. I'm it's not just it's with Trump. They like the killing the people on the boats. We know there are people on them. Just killing them and then putting and posting the videos. Those are snuff films. Killing Renee Good and then putting out their version of it, editing it and putting it out. Those are government sanctioned snuff films. Okay.
Right.
And they should also stop the killing. Yes. Stop the fucking killing. That should be number one. But to let them know that we know they're making snuff films, that we know that they're killing us out. We have to anger Congress because nothing isn't going to stop on his own.
But
he's not going to stop on his own. They need to pull budgets from him so he doesn't have the money to do this shit. They need to start investigating. They need to do the things that they're afraid to do.
But let me first of all, with the snuff films, I think I agree with you on this. But here's the issue. It's like a drug addiction problem. The supply is there because the demand is there. People are eating their. Oh, that's what I voted for. Yeah, somebody posting a picture of her bloody steering wheel. That's what I voted for. The bloodlust is everywhere. So the
bloodlust is there, but it's still only like 30% of the population. That means that 70% of the population. That's I'm not saying 30%. I mean that's the hardcore, the people that are unswayable. They will not stop. Then they won't ever come to the point where it's like even if it happened to a member of their own family, they will find. That's what I mean by the 30%. The people that no matter what are going to just say, this is what I want.
I think you're looking at this with rose-colored glasses or blue-colored rose glasses or whatever, because I'm just seeing an overwhelming tide of just people just celebrating death, celebrating innocent people getting killed, just loving it. They're loving it, and these stuff.
See, and I don't see that at all. And my algorithm doesn't show me that at all. I don't see it. I know they're out there because I can find it, and when I find it, there's a lot of it.
Well, algorithm is one thing, but the reality of the real world. Again, I go out on Saturday, and there are protests going on Long Island, and there's like 10, 15 people going out there, and thousands and thousands of people were running by, giving them the finger, blowing horns, "Fuck you, Trump." It's not just algorithms. It's
but that's
it's a real world.
If I drove to your neighborhood, that's what I'd see. If I drove to Milwaukee or if I drove to Minneapolis, I'd see something different.
Long Island, it was 68 miles each way, and it's not like my neighborhood. It's
when I say neighborhood, I mean Long Island, because that's supposedly that's a very conservative.
We have a blue governor here. You know we have a liberal governor here.
Sure.
Yeah.
We have Moore. We have Wes Moore as a governor, and I can find pockets of Maryland that are so fucking racist that are and immoral that I should be reluctant to go through there. It's just that I'm refused to be afraid to drive through any part of my own country.
Well, it's coming to a theater near you. I don't know if you know.
Sure, probably. Yeah. Probably.
And what will happen?
I have no idea.
No, with you personally. Let's just say you're sitting in your car, minding your own business, and ICE comes up, knocking on your window. Get out! Open the window. Get out of the car. What are you going to comply?
Not the way they'd want me to.
Well, this is the situation now, because we're getting, well, she should have complied. An officer tells you should comply,
that's bullshit.
and they
That's
shot her in the
bullshit.
head anyway. Wait, let me just
Yeah.
finish this. They shot her in the head. She wasn't complying. She was trying to get away, whatever. They shot her in the head. Seeing all sorts of people who do comply, and they still get shot. A young black man sitting in his car doing this, and they broke the window, dragged him out, and gave him a beating. Like, I'm showing you my hands, which is what I'm supposed to do, right? That's show me your hands. And he still gets beat. So you comply, you get beat up. You don't comply, you get beat up.
Right. Yes.
When do we start?
The thing is, that's why I said it's bullshit. Because again, I have been growing up black in this country and being in my 60s. I have been on the side of the beatings where people, this is new to a lot of people. It's not new to me. It's not new to me at all. That's why I have been the complied route and have been attacked. I've been the non-compliant route and have been attacked. I have been the push the police officers down the stairs route, and then I got a result. So I'm not opposed to violence. I'm not opposed to violence. What I'm opposed to is people reacting without understanding whatever the consequences are. You have to be willing to accept the consequences that you're about to face.
Who is the leader of the resistance right now?
There is no leader of the resistance, as far as I know.
So without leadership, it's just every man on everyone for himself. Against
in a way it is.
Nazi regime.
But in a way it is, sure. But it's always been that way. As far as I'm concerned, I don't subscribe to a leader of any movement. I don't. I'm not a follower like that. So yeah, whatever I do, I have no leader for whatever it is I'm doing. I would love camaraderie, sure.
That's not exactly what I'm saying. I'm not saying devoted following of anything, but somebody who is actually in power, has some degree of power, taking up the mantle of resistance to an evil force. That requires some kind of leadership, some kind of organization, some kind of fight back, unified fight back. And without that, there's very little hope that each individual is going to be able to take on a Reich on its own.
I don't think that. I hear what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I just don't think the word leader applies to what we need. I think if there were one leader of the millions of people that want to fight back, that would be easy to take.
Stop right there. It doesn't have to be one. Congress can take but they're not. So I'm saying it doesn't have to be one person. It doesn't have to be an individual. Where is the fight coming from?
The fight has to come from us. Now, the word leadership is where I'm having difficulty, only because I would prefer that if there were 1 million people fighting, that our leadership would be our cause, and that is to put an end to this shit. And if we have, let's say, 200, if we have, I'm just going to say 15 different methods that this could come to an end. And I mean, not individualized methods, but let's say we go the protest route, we go the letter route, we go the election route, we go the assassination route, whatever route they want to go. There's let's say there's 15 routes. I'm more happy with that than if there was just a group or someone says, we need to vote them out, because that's not enough. We also need the education, because once we vote them out, people are still going to be ignorant and think that, okay, now we can fix it and we can do that in 5 days or 10 days. What we're facing is a long term. It's going to take a while to undo what's been done, because it's affecting the government, it's affecting the psyche, it's affecting our economy, it's affecting almost everything we touch. And it's not going to go back to the way it was. It has to be repaired and fixed in a way that it cannot happen again. And that's going to take time. So that's what we need leadership for education. We need leadership to fight back in all those different ways. You know, maybe there is a room for violence. You know, I'm not opposed to it if it's done. Like I said, I'm not doing it. I am not going to be part of the violent group. But c'est la vie. There's some people that only understand that. You know?
And yet, hold on a second, because you are not advocating for any kind of a leadership group or any of this kind of stuff, but yet you think it's okay. You want people to write letters to Congress, and Congress is not taking up any leadership role in this. We're going to write letters to people who are just going to sit on them and say, "Oh yeah, I agree. That's nice."
Congress responds because the reason I don't. A lot of times, the Congress people sit back and go, well, I'm not hearing from my constituents. And that's the first thing they say. One of the first things they say is, well, my constituents think, or my constituents say, and that's their cover. So we take away that cover. We take away from it and say, my constituents, no, your constituents are up your ass about doing something, okay? That's why I'm saying, I don't want people to have the excuse that, well, nobody really cared because I didn't hear anything about it. That's why I'm referring. That's why I'm think,
and this is why I want to know who's leading, who is in charge here. Nobody is, because who are these people who are disconnected from what their constituents are saying? You think Hakeem Jeffries? You think AOC? You think Bernie Sanders? You think anybody? It doesn't know that people are freaking out right now about what's going on. They need a letter.
I'm not talking about Bernie Sanders. I'm talking about.
No, I'm just saying anybody in that on the side that's opposed to the fascism right now. All those people in Congress, they don't know. They need a letter to know how people are feeling right now.
Not to know how they're feeling, but to act on how they're feeling. There's a difference. Yeah, you can know. You can know about something and not want to act on it. Okay, and so part of the problem, because it's not just one thing. I'm not saying write to Congress and that's the end of it. I'm saying that's one part of it. Something you have to do.
Well, they do though. So if Congress isn't the leadership and there is nobody in leadership, writing a letter does what? It gets people in Congress to say, okay, but I'm not leading. I'm a follower like you, and everybody's following, and there's no leadership. How does anything ever change?
The people, okay, Congress is there's a very thin margin in Congress right now. I do not expect to change every mind, every heart, but what we need are to get to work on Republicans who can vote to do certain things that the Democrats are trying to do. Okay, for example, let's just take the health insurance. Okay, that affects Republicans, Democrats alike. Okay, the Democrats have been saying we want an extension, extension. Republicans are like, fuck no. Now, guess what? Some of them are starting to lean like they're hearing from their constituents. Our insurance is going way the fuck up. You need to do something. And so there are a few who have started to vote with the Democrats. So they're getting motions passed through. That kind of pressure is working. Again, but they're looking at it as a single issue thing. It's like, oh, we're not going to stop Trump, but we will work on the health insurance. Okay, so they're starting to do it. Now, it's to the point where Trump is already signaling if they ask for an extension on the health care for the Affordable Care Act, that he wants to veto it. That means he's becoming aware of it. He's already threatening. Okay, so it is working. The thing is, and again, we have so many things that need to be fixed. We need to work on them together simultaneously. So yes, right now they're working on the healthcare, but we also need to be looking at the immigration issue. We also need to be looking at putting an end to the snuff films and defunding Kristi Noem, investigating. But again, we need a majority of people who are willing to say, let's investigate, let's prosecute, let's do this, let's do that. We need to put pressure on them because Congress does not lead from the front. They were never meant to lead from the front. They're meant to represent the people. They're not leaders, they're followers, and they're supposed to follow our lead. That's why I'm saying we put that pressure on them because they're not leaders. Congress was never meant to be leaders. They're representatives.
Okay, you don't think they have that pressure on them now? They need a letter. That's what I'm.
Some of them
do they
do,
not?
yes.
Do they not have
Because
social media? Do they have televisions?
They're getting pressure from constituents, but they're also getting pressure from money, and they're getting pressure from millionaires and billionaires who say, "Look, we can make or break you. We will throw some money on to your opponent." And the people need to say, "Fine, let them throw the money. We have your back if you represent what we want." Okay. That's what said. They need to feel that the people have their back if they do the right thing. Not whatever I do, I want to be reelected, because a lot of them are not there to serve the people. They're there to try to keep their jobs and hold on to power. But if the people don't put them back in office, they lose their power, they lose that job, and they have to go someplace else to look for it. So yeah, they're being pressured, but they're being pressured by Trump. They're being pressured by billionaires. They're being pressured by even some of their own staff that says, well, Representative, if you do this, you're going to lose the gun lobby. And they would say, well, fuck the gun lobby. Because right now, my constituents are very unhealthy. They need insurance. We got to help them. I'll deal with the gun lobby when there's a gun issue. Right now, there's a healthcare issue or whatever it is. That's what I'm saying, because they're not meant to lead. They're meant to follow, and we need to push them. And the only way they're going to get pushed is if they hear from us, and hear from us loud, hear from us consistently. And unfortunately, like in my case, my representative is a Democrat who's going to be towing the Democratic line regardless of what it is. I'm not happy about that, because if the Democrats are wrong and he follows along with them, I'm fucked. But at least for right now, they're going in that the right direction, so to speak. But I can't write a letter about, if I write a letter about Andy Harris, it goes nowhere. Now, I can support people who are against Andy Harris in another district, or maybe if I get the balls, I can run against Andy Harris in another congressional district. But my letters don't mean anything. But Andy Harris's constituents, that may mean something more than my letters to him. So people also need to know who the representatives are, because some people don't know.
Grok. How important were letters in solving the Civil War?
Oh, don't ask Grok. Grok is too busy studying porn.
well,
creating
porn. That's exactly what you're saying, though. That letters are gonna solve the Civil War.
Yeah, but the Grok is, you can't ask Grok.
I wasn't really asking Grok.
I know you were asking Siri.
That was performative. No, she's not talking to me. It's to the point where the slaughter is happening. And I don't know if you caught this, like in LA, a guy rented a U-Haul truck and just
I saw that.
slammed into. This is how the more the people on the anti-Trump movement, the anti-ICE movement, the anti-fascist movement, the more they point out how evil the shit that's going on, just killing a woman and whatever, the more they point it out, the more emboldened the other sides get, and more ready. Oh, look, liberals are protesting. We gotta kill them all. And the liberals are saying, yeah, we got to protest more. And to me, the side that's saying we got to kill them all is going to win that fight. If we just keep saying, I'm going to go out there with signs, I'm going to go out there with a truck, I think the guy with the truck is going to win. And at some point, yes, I am advocating for violence. I know you're not, and you've already made that clear, but I think there's no other solution. When you're backed into the corner and an ICE agent has you by the throat, you're going to fight back like I did. Now, you may end up getting beat.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's where we're at. We are backed into the corner, and the ICE agents have us all by the throat. And if it's not ICE agents, it's people who imagine they are ICE agents and they were renting U-Haul trucks. They're just going nuts. They are here, especially in the Northeast. I'm seeing acts like this all over the fucking place, where vigilantes are just taking taking it upon themselves to say, "Oh, you don't like that we killed that woman," or breaking into houses. You're not even a cop in any way, breaking into houses because you think illegal immigrants live there. And what are you going to do? You can't fucking deport them on your own. So the only solution is to give them a good beating and leave, or kill them and leave. This is what's going on here. So I think, yes, I am calling for violence. I'm calling for a violent civil war. It's here. And one side knows it, the other side doesn't know it.
The main reason I do not advocate for that is because that is Trump wants. He's been making up excuses, trying to find a way to say we can do with a posse comitatus. See, I want to cancel the election, and so that's what we have to fight smart to avoid that, so that even if he does say, okay, I'm sending in troops, that we have some kind of legal recourse. Say, look, we did not kill anybody. We did not kill one single person. So again, and that's on the legal aspect. Fighting, helping support people like Mark Elias and Democracy. Now I can't remember the name of the groups now because UCLA, not UCLA,
Devil's Advocate.
ACLU.
Devil's advocate here. I hear what you're saying. He definitely wants an excuse to implement martial law and cancel the elections.
Yes,
but let's say we don't fight back, and we
I'm
get
not saying
slaughtered.
not fight back,
huh?
Well,
you're saying fight back by going out in the street with signs and getting run over.
I'm not saying just that.
Writing letters, going out with signs.
Ways that we can do this.
Give me those ways. The ways
if I had all the answers, if I had all those ways, I wouldn't be here. I'd be out there promoting all the ways. I'm saying there's people out there thinking ways that I don't think.
Give me any way. Well, who? Not you.
I just mentioned 3 or 4. You keep poo-pooing them.
What were they? What? Huh? Give me writing letters. That is.
That's yes, to represent. But see, I'm saying those things. You're almost acting like I'm not saying those things. I said those things. I'm saying I don't know every way. That's why I just threw a number out there, because there's people that are thinking of things that I haven't thought of. Because like I said, I'm not. Believe me, I can think of violent ways because I'm a very violent person. Unfortunately, I have a lot to lose if I go that route.
You have a lot to lose either way. If they're getting violent already,
but I have no. I'm saying if I went out tomorrow and decide to do violence, what I would have to lose will be gone the day after tomorrow. I have time. The way it is right now, I
think you're underestimating your own cleverness. I'm not saying
go
out and
overtly
implicate yourself in a criminal act.
No, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. You don't understand, and I'm not going to say those things out loud beyond what I'm doing. I'm not going to throw out details, but what I'm saying is very simple. There are certain things that I would lose almost immediately if I acted in a certain way. Okay, so I have to fight to the best of my ability and at the same time protect the things that I'm not willing to lose. That's why there has to be dozens and dozens of ways to do this, because different people have different things to lose. If I were dying of cancer, or anything, if the doctor said to me, you're a goner in 6 months, but I'm still relatively healthy now, you best believe I'd have guns out there, so that when they put me on trial, it's like, okay, what are you going to do? Give me the death penalty? I got the death penalty. See, but I don't have that. That's not something that I'm willing to do, because I don't have a death wish right now. When I was younger and I thought I had nothing to lose, I was physically fighting with police. I mean, physically knuckle to knuckle fighting with police officers. Because I thought I was young and invincible. And I got lucky that the police officers that wanted to shoot me, that there was like a black cop that goes, no, it was a mistaken identity. He thought I was Eddie from the neighborhood, and I wasn't. He goes, no, man, that's Eddie. Don't shoot. No. So he was protecting me because he thought he recognized me and thought I was Eddie. And if he had realized I wasn't Eddie, I might not be here. Just because some cop in the rain thought I was someone else. He stopped the other cops from shooting me. Okay. But that was luck. That wasn't skill. It's not like I knew how to stop bullets or anything like that. And that put a different slant on how I was going to fight. But it didn't stop me from fist fighting with police. Okay, that stopped a little later.
Well, no, I'm not saying
that did. Yeah, okay.
I'm not advocating for stupid violence, but
that's what I'm saying.
I am advocating for smart resistance that includes violence. And you cannot just, and I know Jesus would smack me in the mouth and say, turn the other cheek. I've had all 4 cheeks fucking beaten to raw. And at this point, and maybe when people start to realize that it can happen to them, they will have the same opinion. But having experienced this with ICE, they're not going to stop at just whatever these immigrants are. They're going after everybody who they don't like. They want a crystal fascist republic.
When they went after you, when they beat you, why did you not press charges and make it more public? Why did you not do it?
Because I did not want to include my family in the whole thing.
See, that's what I'm saying. People have things to lose that they're not willing to risk, but it's different for everybody.
No, there's another part of everybody. No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't trust the authorities, the people who are aligned with me. Who am I going to report it to? I'm going to report it to people who are going to go back to them and say, Matt Napo just reported you. And you're reporting it to, like, I'm going to report to Donald Trump that Donald Trump's a rapist. Trump, you're in the Epstein files. I'll take a look at that immediately.
But the thing is, when we suffer in silence, the people who think they have the right to create that suffering continue to do it. If we shine light on it, they see that, okay, we can't get away with this. Maybe it won't stop all the violence, but they'll stop. Let's say they'll get a little bit smarter, or they won't do this, they won't do that. It's maybe letting them know, shining light will save one other person. I don't know. I don't have all these answers, because it turns out that Trump doesn't even know what he's going to do, because Trump isn't president. Trump has like 12 different presidents with their own different issues. And we need that same kind of thing, where people have their own little issues and they get their own followings that they can fight back. And because it's not like we're not fighting just one thing. It's not just Trump. It's these millionaires that are behind him. It's these sycophants that are behind him that are whispering in his ear, Trump, you can get away with this. All we need to do is blah, blah, blah. And then Trump, things that he didn't even think of, because Trump is not a smart man. The only thing Trump is thinking of is, how do I get rich? How do I stay out of jail? And those 2 things, that's it. And unfortunately, it means, how do I get rich? By staying in power. How do I stay out of jail? By staying in power.
Right.
That's it. That's his focus. Everything else is other people putting shit in his ear.
I was going with this idea that, this is exactly, and I agree with you that this is exactly what he wants. He wants a reason to enforce martial law and to cancel the election. But I'm thinking he doesn't need martial law to cancel the election. People are just going to go along with it and say, well, I'll just write another letter to strongly worded.
I don't know which people.
If he canceled the election tomorrow, what if he says I'm canceling the midterms tomorrow? What would be the recourse?
He can say it tomorrow. Doesn't mean a damn thing.
What would stop him from what's in place to stop him from
if he thought that he could say it tomorrow and get away with it, he'd have said it already, or he'd have floated that balloon.
He has floated that balloon. Clearly,
no, I mean,
he said last week he was going to cancel the election. Just last week,
and I don't know what I didn't hear it at all. So it didn't make any waves where in my circles.
It's on his truth. It's on his Truth Social from last week. I will find it. But he's saying you're saying he would have floated that balloon. He absolutely floated that balloon.
Okay, then
we can't allow. Under any, by all means necessary, he said, we can't allow the Democrats to take power back in the midterm.
Yeah, he's afraid because one of the things he did say was that the Democrats, if the Democrats take over, I'm getting impeached. That's the first thing he said. Now he didn't say I'll be removed from office, so I think he thinks he's going to hold on to the Senate. You know, because impeachment is not being removed from office. Look, like I said, I do not have all the answers. I do not.
I'm not asking you for all the answers. I'm asking you how does nonviolence and nonviolent resistance? And I know Gandhi. It worked for Gandhi somehow. I don't know how it worked for Gandhi. I know Jesus would tell me, yes, that's the only way. But I don't see it. I don't see a way out of this without violent resistance. We're not driving trucks renting U-Hauls and driving over people in the street who are lining up to make it easy for you. And it's just escalating. And again, the more we shine a light on how evil they are, the more evil they become. It's like when you say this was wrong to shoot a woman in the head, there were so many, even if you thought she was in the wrong in that position, there were so many ways to subdue that without shooting her point blank in the face, and then 2 more times that she was fleeing. That you shine a light on that, and they say, that's what I voted for. Let's up that. Let's get more evil in that. That wasn't evil enough for us. They are escalating and becoming more violent, and the other side is saying, no, non-violence. And I'm just like, that ain't gonna work, man. If I would have just stood there with the ICE people and let that first guy beat me up, maybe the other 2 wouldn't have gotten involved, but I still would have taken a beating and gotten really badly beaten up either way. If I just stood there and said, okay, just hit on me. And that's what the resistance is doing right now. Just saying, yeah, just hit on me. I'm just going to call you evil, and you're going to hit on me. And I'll go, well, you're evil. Boom, here's another shot. Well, that's wrong. Boom, here's another shot. This is what's going on in America right now. One side is fucking killing people, and the other side is saying, that's wrong to kill people. Okay, we'll kill more people. And you know what? They feed on that. It's like a shark tasting blood and wants more blood. That's what MAGA has become. And so, yeah, I don't know any... I don't know any way out of this without. And your point about if I had a death sentence, we all have a death sentence. It's just we don't know what the date is, but we're all dying. And yeah, I have plenty to lose, but I'm going to lose anyway if I just sit there and lay placid and here you go, just take what I got, just one bit at a time. If you're going to fucking kill me, get it over with.
Well, yeah, I can't go toe to toe with you on point after point because I'm still something of a hopeful person. Otherwise, I'd end it all. And you're not a very hopeful person. So no matter what I say to try to give hope, you're going to look for the absolute worst.
I would like to.
I do want to say that there's no Tony Walker today. So Mickey says there's no Tony Walker today. How are you doing today? And now I think he knows.
They are choking our economy. Yeah, that's, but
Yes.
you know, I gotta say gas prices did drop 20 cents or something in the last week here, which I was surprised by. And that becomes the Venezuelan thing. Now, people reacting, gas companies thinking they're gonna get cheaper prices for gas or whatever. That it was 20 cents is not enough. By the way, it's still not down to where it was before Joe Biden left office. And I don't necessarily attribute all gas prices to presidents and all that stuff. But the fact is, we're still not down to where we were in January of last year. So,
but the prices dropping is independent of what happened within Venezuela. Because we know that gas prices has more to do with oil production. And this is one of my pet peeves about gas prices. If you had a gas station, Mine Dog Gas, right there. You've already bought your gas. You bought your gas. It's in the ground to sell at the pump. And something happens in Israel, miles and thousands of miles away, and then the gas that you've already paid for, a price for, goes up. Why? That gas is already paid for. You know, I can see the new gas costing more, but immediately going up. It has nothing to do with all that other stuff. It's totally independent. It's got.
Well, I'm not sure you're correct on that either, but I think because a lot of the gas is, especially in chain stations, is bought on consignment. They're not really. They are taking what the corporation says is the price value today. This which is why if you order oil heat from a heating oil from a company, you can get a different price today than you will get tomorrow, depending on what they're dictated. They've already got the oil in. They're being charged by what they sell, not by they're not paying in advance. All right, stop ringing, please. Anyway, the idea of I agree that generally these things that happen in the news are not knee-jerk reactions, but I think the perception of the people running the oil company is that, oh, we're going to get a better deal now. We can lighten up, make things look like they're going well, so that we can continue this oil raping of Venezuela, and that it plays some part in the point drop, 20 cents a gallon or whatever it is in regular gas here. I'm not saying it's a lasting thing or it's part of the market forcing this rather than oil company executives saying, yes, we support this initiative. Now, I saw some people saying today there's something blocking Americans. There's a hitch in the plan and we can't get the oil that we thought we were going to get. I don't know what that's about. I haven't read it yet, but I think that will make things go back up. It's the people who are setting the prices having knee-jerk reactions to what's going on in the news.
I just want to respond to something that Kevin is saying.
What about Roundabout?
Okay, he says, let me put it up here. So anti-ICE guys versus MAGA guys, divide and conquer, just what they want. Now, that's not exactly accurate. Anti-ICE guys versus the MAGA guys, that's not the divide that they created. What the divide that they will want would be the people that are they want the anti-ICE people to be divided. So they're saying they want, for example, let's say we were all anti-ICE. All the people that are not MAGA are all anti-ICE. Very simple. But those people, some of them are white, some are black, some are Hispanic, some are Israeli, some are Iranian, whatever. Then with that kind of divide and conquer, they would say, well, they would want the Iranis and the Jewish people to go like, well, you're not on the same side. Instead of those being united against ICE, they start fighting against each other. So they're not so focused on ICE. And they say to the blacks and the whites, well, blacks, you guys have been getting fucked for so long that you're just used to it. White people are just thinking they're finally understanding. And so you guys aren't in the same coalition. You shouldn't be anti-ICE together. That's the divide and conquer that we'll be more concerned with, not the ICE, anti-ICE versus ICE. That's the battleground. That's the war front. That's the front of the war.
I'm just replying to somebody who told me to stop by. It's like stop by Minnesota today. Wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can't. It's not a stop by for me. It's a major commute. Tell me to stop by for a show that's taking place an hour and a half. Like it's like in my neighborhood. No, it's not a stop.
Yeah. And now, as far as dividing and conquering MAGA, that's going to be a little bit harder because the mindset, the kind of mindset you'd have to be MAGA in the first place makes you a little less reasonable to certain facts or to processing certain facts. But if you could divide and conquer MAGA, what you'd want to do is say, look, guys, I know you want X, Y, and Z, but you're losing your health insurance. You didn't vote to lose. You didn't vote to lose health insurance. You have a kid that needs their leukemia medicine. You have a mother that needs her diabetes medicine. You're losing that. So that's how you divide and conquer MAGA, and that's sort of what's happening with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, she's still not all in on Trump, and that's the battle that we need to be fighting in that regard. When it comes to dividing and conquer, we need to be focusing on those MAGA people that can be picked off, and just we're not going to get them all, but we can weaken their resolve. So they're like, okay, I want strong borders, but I don't want my cousin to die from diabetes to get a strong border. Okay, now some of them don't give a shit. Some of them you can walk in and they'll say, release the protect Trump, and Trump could walk in and rip their 13-year-old kid right in front of them, and they would go, protect Trump, release the Epstein files, but protect Trump. Those people you're never going to flip.
What file? Files?
Epstein
what
files?
Never heard.
Those people are never. Those people that are so up Trump's ass.
Oh, that's right.
They don't recognize
that thing that the people were talking about, and I forgot about that. Refresh my memory. What is this Epstein thing? He got a note from his mother or something. Epstein's
mother wrote him a note. Yeah.
So
that's the thing that was bringing Trump down and weakening his coalition, the Epstein files, and he's taking a lot of focus off of that. And it doesn't matter
what
he doesn't care he doesn't care what it costs, as long as we're not talking about those things, because it's not his money. They're not his lives. They're not his troops. That those troops are other people's families, other people's kids. Those ICE agents are just ignorant people who signed up for a bonus and like violence. You like violence, join us.
I just want to be clear here. What you tell me is this is not all Joe Biden's fault.
It's absolutely his fault. He should have resigned and made Kamala Harris president when he had a year left in office. I know it's not Joe Biden's fault. It's not Joe Biden's fault.
Wait, I just want to be clear here. Joe Biden didn't just open the borders and just let all these people in, and that made a need for ICE, because
he didn't open the borders, Matt. He actually just chartered the plane and flew them in. He didn't open the borders. They flew over the border. The border was still closed. They flew over it.
What happened to that wall, by the way? Is that wall finished?
It's transparent. We don't see it.
It seems like nobody talks about the wall anymore, right? He was building a wall. It never got finished.
What else they don't talk about? The fact that Steve Bannon was cheating millions of people out of millions of dollars, saying this money was going to build the wall, and he lied, right, and he cheated them, and Trump pardoned him, and Steve Bannon still has a job, and he's still grifting people.
And they didn't even ask for the money back. Like,
no,
all that money you stole, can we have that back, please?
Yes. See, those are things we kind of need to focus. Let them see again, but that's only comes with shining a light on stuff. But there's so much noise out there. And that's the one thing that Trump is so good at, is flooding the zone, so that people will stop talking about the things that kind of really matter to them, things that are important to them, and they start talking about the things that are important to him. Or not important to him, things that aren't important, but it gets him a reprieve. We forget that he's a pedophile. We forget that he's an unregistered sex offender. We forget that he's a murderer, that he's creating snuff films. We forget that he's enriching himself hand over hand over hand over hand over fist. We forget that he's grifting us, that he's breaking the economy so that he can rob it. We forget those things, and we stop talking about those things, but we can't. And that's why we can't just have one battle. We need to have all sorts of battles. We need to have the people that keep those fires burning. At the same time, it's time to extinguish the other fires of the ICE agents. That's why it cannot just be one battle. It's multiple battles on multiple fronts that almost happen simultaneously.
Well, there is and I'm kind of switching gears a little bit. It's a horror movie. Yes, I agree, Sunshine. We are living in it's almost biblical, because in Iran, I don't know if you're familiar with this place.
I haven't been there, but I hear nice things about it.
Well, I know people from there. I know people from there who live here, and they're nice people, although they are very Muslim. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying they are not necessarily. You can support the revolution over there against the mullahs, but that is not going to make them pro-America or pro-Christianity or pro-Jew, pro-Israel. Not if it and we've heard the whispers or the rumors of revolution. They go take to the streets every couple of years or so, and then they get knocked down. So I'm not necessarily confident that they'll be able to overthrow the mullahs. But even if they do, that doesn't mean you're going to get a America-friendly, Israel-friendly, whatever people are imagining the new state of Iran might look like. They're not just going to jump on board. Oh yeah, now we're pro-Christian and pro-Jew.
That's
because
true.
we got rid of. They're not going to do that.
But if Trump starts bombing them, guess what? The people that were on our side or thinking about a peaceful coexistence, they're going to unite with the people who say fuck them all, and then we'll just like
and it gets tricky, right?
Huh?
How do you bomb? You bring up and I don't know that that's necessarily on the table, but it might be this idea of Trump taking, because he did tell them we have your back for the revolution. But if they're all the good Iranians are in the street, how do you bomb the mullahs without killing all the innocent or the good people out in the street? How do you can't just bomb the mullah's house and not expect to hit the people around the mullah's house, right?
Look, I don't know enough about how the Israelis would do it. I don't know. I don't think we would do it. I don't know. I mean, we might. Trump may have like one or two generals right now who are familiar with the area and go like, we can do 3 targeted strikes, and we're going to take out 14%. We'll take out 50% of the mullahs, but only 5 or 6 casual, friendlies. All we're waiting for is your go. Just say go, but you gotta say go within the next 12 hours because those people won't be there. And it goes, okay, go. But I don't know.
It's very surprising to me that what's going on in Iran is not getting more coverage, more getting talked about more. And it's hard to know exactly because it's a world away and all we have is media and nobody trusts the media anymore. But the images of people just flooding the streets there in mass makes you think that maybe this demonstration might be more productive than the last. But who knows? And you know what? I'm not sure that any kind of revolution is going to be a revolution for the better. And that's the assumption that they're making. And I'm all for the fact that anybody who says the mullahs are evil and this totalitarian regime is evil, sure, absolutely. But what comes next? You see a bunch of people in the street, you're not necessarily going to get something better there. And I'm not sure how you can ever know if it's going to get better or worse. So maybe I don't know if you just sit back and let it happen. But then if you don't support the people who you want to be in power, then when they get in power, if they take power, they're not going to have any gratitude or any kind of. It's a really foreign relations is a tough game to play. It really is.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen with Iran, but I'm thinking, this is my thought here. I'm not hoping for this. I got to put this out there because it would sound like treason. What I'm about to say would sound like treason if I were supporting it. I'm not supporting it. But I think if you back the mullahs into a corner where it feels like they're about to lose power and we're just encouraging it more and more, they will strike out like any caged animal or a cornered animal will do. They'll strike out in a very 9/11 type of way. And all the military that we have, all the aircraft carriers, all the stealth fighters, all the bombers are powerless against 19 guys with box cutter knives in a way that creative people can get really ugly in terrorist ways if they put their mind to it. And this is what I'm expecting, some kind of terrorist retaliation for the United States overstepping its bounds in parts of the world where we're not wanted no matter what. And I could see them recruiting box cutter people right now saying, you know what, make America hurt. And remember, 9/11, 2001, 19 guys with box cutter knives brought us to our knees, literally, for a week. We were like in shock and not knowing exactly what to do. and all our military was powerless to stop that. $10 billion in aircraft carriers, $10 trillion in military was powerless against that kind of thing. And I think that's what we're forcing right now.
Now, part of the reason why the military, but that wasn't up to the military to stop it. The Bush,
but they couldn't have if they wanted to.
The Bush administration had an idea what was going on. They did not stop it, maybe because they didn't believe it. The signs were there. They didn't know how to appreciate it. I mean, they were warned. They actually moved a meeting. If I remember this correctly, there was a G8 meeting, and they moved it because of threats of people wanting to fly airplanes to where the meeting was, and they moved it. So we knew that somebody was thinking about it, even if this is one of the things that kind of annoyed me about Condoleezza Rice on her testimony. She goes, "No one could imagine." It's like, well, you didn't have to imagine. You knew. You heard. We were warned like 7 months or 8 months ago.
You know what? First of all, no one could imagine. There was a movie made, a Hollywood director. There was Bruce Willis was in it. Very similar plot. So yeah, somebody could imagine it. Actually,
that says nobody could imagine. No, you heard. Y'all had the intel. You changed plans because of that intel. So somebody could imagine it. And you acted on that imagination.
Yeah. Sunshine saying they trained in Florida. Not all of them, but yes, a couple of them did train in Florida. But again, this idea of military stopping guerrilla warfare, terrorists, you can't.
Right.
Military are built to fight other militaries. You
Right.
can't anticipate every little Tom, Dick, or Harry who might have a dirty bomb and just show up in a major city or something. And I think that's what is brewing. I think we will see something like that. How we will react. Most Americans will, like we did with 9/11. Oh yeah, we got to go out and kill them all now. And this is more of an excuse to go rah, rah, rah. Let's start more wars. That's what they use it for.
This is one of the things that I'm concerned about when it comes to Venezuela. I'm going to change gears just a tad bit. Okay, Trump says, first of all, we know Trump doesn't give a shit about human life. Only his own. He doesn't give a shit about his own kids. So he says we're not going to put troops on the ground. He probably really means we're not going to put U.S. troops on the ground. But if he can get the oil companies to hire militias, those are not troops on the ground. Those are your Blackwaters, or I think G's, or whatever they were. I think whatever Blackwater changed their name to G. These are private contractors going in, being paid by the oil companies to do what troops would do. And then Trump would say, I didn't put any troops on the ground. These are contractors. Yeah. And then they're not subjected to our code of war, so to speak. And then we're going to do the same thing there that we did in Iraq. We're going to have contractors raping people and killing people willy-nilly, Willy and Nilly, and whatever other names they go by. That's what, so again, that's preemptive. We have to let the oil companies know we're not going to put up not just troops on the ground, but contractors on the ground. That kind of thing. Like I said, I can't think of everything, but that's one of the things I was thinking about. That soon as Trump says, as soon as they said we're not putting troops on the ground, that's the first thing I thought was, no, you're not going to put troops on the ground. You're going to put contractors on the ground. That's the first thing that came to my mind. And that's how I got in trouble, because back when we had Abu Ghraib, that's how I got in trouble with the government, because I turned into what I didn't know was a rat. I didn't know it was a rat. I thought I was blowing the whistle on something I'd learned, and it got me in trouble. For a while.
You're in trouble? What kind of trouble? Here's GD's 4 favorite people in the whole world. I'm lying about that, of course. Rachel Maddow, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel. What the fuck is he doing there? And no, Jimmy Kimmel's over on the right. This is Jimmy Fallon next to the right there. What is Jimmy Fallon doing in there?
He's a whore. He's a whore. He's a camera whore. Yeah. I'm not saying he doesn't believe in it, but yeah, that's why he's there. He's a camera whore.
They're holding a sign that says, for the people on the radio who can't see this, is ICE abusing their power? Is that even a fucking question? Condemn this and agree with this. Like, I'm not sure. Did they really hold that sign? It was this AI.
I don't know what condemning means.
Did somebody just make this up?
It's just, I think it's just a moment. You know, I think if by chance they are together, if that's a real sign, you know, again, it's just saying condemn, I guess, means do something, act, I guess, because condemning.
It's condemned.
Condemning,
and now what?
To me, when I think of condemning, I mean, I think of wagging a finger, and this is not going to do it. Wagging your finger is not going to do it. Now,
I don't know if you're familiar with this movie. It's called The Godfather. Are you familiar with it? Oh, that's right. You hate that movie.
I don't hate that movie.
I know.
But and now John Fugusane has been emailing me on a regular basis, begging me to come to his house so that he can convert me. I don't want to be converted to something I'm not converted. There's no conversion. I'll watch Goodfellas with him. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, but on the subject
you turned him into a stalker.
I got it. Well, that's nice.
No, actually, I'm just teasing. He's not a stalker. We just exchanged a couple of emails with regards to that thing. That's all.
In the movie, there's a thing where they get Michael to condemn Satan while he is carrying out, like, his people are carrying out murders. Or it's while he's in church at a Christian. Michael, do you condemn the works of Satan? I do. And they're blowing away Mo Green, and they're blowing away people left and right. Condemning is just anybody can condemn things, but without action.
I think that one of the things that could and should be done, if by chance you are the family members of one of these ICE people, and you know their identities, because they're wearing masks because they don't want their identities out there. It's the same thing with the Koch brothers. When the Koch brothers, they were working behind the scenes doing all this dirt. They didn't want to be. They wanted to do the dirt and not be outed. Rachel Maddow outed them, and it changed their whole fucking business strategy. And it took them a while to regroup. If you know an ICE agent, you know who's under the mask, say their names out loud. You know, so that the people in the streets can, you know, if you know ICE agents are in, let's say your brother-in-law, and you're against it, your brother-in-law's in Minneapolis, okay? Just post their fucking names, you know, so-and-so, you know, stop being a dick or whatever it is however you want to word it. You know, put the names out there. Get rid of the anonymity, their anonymousness, their unknownness. Get rid of the unknownness.
Take the mask off, is what you're saying.
Right. Unmasks them, yes. And if by chance, if you are in a scuffle with them, unmask them. Don't try to hurt them. Don't try to.
It doesn't come off that. Listen, as somebody who's been in that position, the mask doesn't come off that easy. That was the first thing I went to do when the guy went to grab my collar. I put my hand up and I grabbed the mask. It doesn't come off that easy.
I don't understand. Isn't it cloth? What is it, Kevlar?
It was on very tight. So I got it off his nose. I could see his nose, but I couldn't like get it completely off. The mask never came off the main guy, the first guy who grabbed me. Never came off. He still had it on over his mouth when he was calling me a spit.
Okay, then get paintballs. Shoot him in the face with paintballs. You know, or the ink dye that, you know, the bank ink dye that doesn't go away. Hit him in the face with that. Then you know, because that stuff doesn't come off for the next 2 or 3 days, you know there's an ICE agent there. That ICE agent has been marked. He's because the blue ink is all over his fucking face. Okay.
Yeah. So now this guy, this Jonathan Ross guy, the mask is off him. Everybody knows who it is, but and this is where it gets really. I don't know. It's a weird war that we're involved in. If anybody does anything to him, all the left will condemn the act against him. Oh, violence is not. You know, that's not the solution here, and there's no way to. This is a guy, and people are saying, well, he didn't mean to kill her. He shot her point blank in the face.
Right.
So he didn't mean to kill her when he shot her point blank in the face. But as she was driving away, just to make sure he's not going to kill her, he shot her twice more in the back of the head as she was fleeing.
He didn't shoot the car. He didn't shoot the tires, which he could have done. He shot her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's. I'm sorry,
So,
Matt. Can you hear that high whining pitch?
huh?
My battery backup is making that sound again, and the only way for me to stop it is me to reset, and it takes me 4 minutes to reset everything.
Go ahead, reset. What am I doing? There's nothing.
That's what I just want you to know. That's what I'm giving you the option.
Go reset. Go reset your resetter.
Okay, I'll be back in about 4 minutes and 12 seconds.
All right. I don't know if you'll be.
Well, once I disappear under my desk, it's going to take a minute just to do that because my right knee does not do that very well.
So we have a domestic issue here in my neighborhood. And I love dogs. I love dogs. I'm a dog myself. I don't know. Coffee with the dog should indicate that I kind of like dogs. But in this neighborhood, there is a dog that is not on a leash, and he's running loose. And I brought this up at the paint party the other night about the chickens, where I felt chickens are the analogy that people use for humans is that if you're a chicken, you're scared, you're a coward, you run away, you chicken down. But the chickens I know are brave as fuck, and they will fight anybody. And that to their own fault. There is a dog on the loose, and a couple of chickens went missing. Now on Facebook, there's a Facebook group for my community, and somebody pointed out there is a cinnamon-colored small dog going around eating chickens and attacking the cats. And then a couple of the chickens went missing. My wife is out there looking for the chickens. One of them was found up in a tree, and she got it and brought it back. But the idea of, and I think it's new people who move into a neighborhood, they have dogs. Again, I love dogs. I'm not complaining about dogs. I'm not saying dogs are the bad guys, chickens are the good guys, cats are the good guys, dogs are the bad guys. But if you move into a neighborhood, you got to be extra hyper vigilant if you have dogs, that your dog is not menacing the neighborhood. You can't let them just run free. You got to have them on a leash. You can't just this neighborhood has been peaceful for as long as I've been here. There's never been any drama between neighbors. Now new people move in, they let their dog run loose, cause havoc in the neighborhood, and bring drama to the neighborhood. You're new here. You got to be a little bit extra careful as the new guy not to let this happen. You're fucking up the whole neighborhood with your unmanaged dog. So all I'm saying is love your dogs. Love dogs. But manage them. Keep them under control. Don't let them just run loose. So, it's something. But this whole idea about chickening out should be, I don't know, not necessarily analogous to real chicken behavior. Chickens, and again, I'm assuming the chickens went to fight the dogs. Now, somebody, I'm not going to say who, somebody mentioned, well, we should, if this keeps up, I'm just going to hurt the dog. No, that's not the solution here. The solution is we have a dog catcher, a town dog catcher. Just call it town dog catcher. Get their dog taken away from them. And then you're kind of fighting it the right way. Are you blaming the system or the psycho? Are you blaming the system or the psychos that work for them? The guy was a psycho, had to control who works for you. Well, you're coming back to the whole Jonathan Ross thing. I'm blaming everybody. First of all, yes, this guy he was a former cop, according to what I understand anyway. So he should have understood police tactics. And you don't go out, if you're really worried about getting run over, you don't go stand in front of a car. But apparently this guy has a habit. He was dragged by a car 6 months ago in a similar situation. He should have been given a desk job and therapy at that point. And second of all, if you're a cop, you understand you don't pull your gun without intending to use it. And there's every indication that he pulled his gun before. Well, the woman was backing away from him. He pulled his gun. So he was pulling his gun, if you think about it logically, he was pulling his gun to use it at that point. So I blame him for being a psycho, and I blame the system for recruiting psychos and bloodthirsty cop wannabes, these guys who, you know, are video game players and think that killing another human being is like it is on a video game. They're not real. They're just clicking buttons here. And when you take somebody's life, and this guy, he went, and this was a systemic thing. This is not just this psycho. He shoots somebody 3 times. They crash into a pole. They're bleeding out, dying. And he walks away telling other people to call 911. Meanwhile, he's holding his phone in his right hand. He's walking away. Hey, call 911. But stopping a physician who was right there from attending to the situation immediately. Not that he probably would have been able to save a life, but who knows? And then stopping an ambulance from getting through. Systemically, the entire bunch is guilty of murder. You can't try the whole Department of Homeland Security for murder, or you can't try the department. But there's a whole lot of people here complicit and liable for the murder of this woman. DD looks like he's back with us. His thing has been reset. His little beep. I don't hear the beeping. Nobody hears.
No, I can still. I can still hear it. It's not going away. So that means I have to get rid of my. I have to buy a new battery backup unit because usually you hit the button and it resets. It's not doing it this time.
Well, did you try just picking it up and throwing it out the window?
That's next.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, Kevin brought up this. Are you blaming the psychos or the system that hired the psychos? Everybody. I think they're all complicit. I think this guy shouldn't, according to the reports that he had an incident 6 months ago, he should have been on psychiatric treatment and given a desk job or whatever at that point, not given a gun and saying, yeah, sure, go back out there.
Right.
But the whole thing, they recruit. I think they put an ad in like video gamers wanted. Ever dreamed about playing cop? Here's your opportunity. Join Ace. We're hiring anybody. And it's so they're not training these people right. They're not. And according to the reports, this guy was a cop and had been trained about the proper use of a gun and force and when it's legal and when it's not legal and all that stuff. But yeah, so you can blame him and you can blame the system, but you can't necessarily put the system on trial for murder. I mean, you can't lock up everybody. And at some point, I think we're going to have to start building more prisons because we're going to. What is the end game here? The end game looks like get rid of all the resistance, everybody who doesn't like what Donald Trump is and his fascist regime. Let's get rid of everybody who's against that. That's 150 million people or something. We can't put them all in prison at this point. We don't have enough room. So what's the end game look like? Exterminating them? What is the end game? I don't know where they think they go. They're not going to convince us that, oh yeah, this is the way to go. We love fascism. It's just weird. I don't know. What do you think the end game is here for them?
For them?
Yeah. What do they think? What do they imagine the end game looks like? All conservative, all white, all everybody on the same page.
That is what the end game looks like for them. The unconstrained white power. Unconstrained power for the wealthy, I should say. And so that's what the end game is for them. They want unconstrained power. They want to be able to pollute when they want to pollute. They want to be able to steal, rob, just take the land that they want to take. They want to go through the federal lands, and if they want to exterminate a species so that they can have that land, they want to be able to exterminate a species. So that's it. That's what the rich people want. See, it's not the same page as the white supremacists. The white supremacists would love a new world white order. That's not the same as what the rich people want, because rich people know that for all their money, they still need servants to carry out, so that they can keep their wealth. Otherwise, They got to do it themselves. So the rich people do not want to get rid of the minorities. They want the minorities held or the poor people held in check so that they can do the work. But they're convincing the white supremacists that they're on the same page, that we want this new world order. And that's what they'll say, new world order. but they all have a different idea of what a new world order is. I would like a new world order as well, but my new world order is everybody's equal and there are no fucking billionaires, because they don't need all that fucking money. That money can be used to help build infrastructure, infrastructure that their companies use anyway, help clean up the air that they breathe anyway, help, cure diseases that they also die from.
Yeah, white supremacists. Speaking of white supremacists, and I want to, I know.
I didn't mean to bring Steven up. I'm sorry. We haven't heard from him for a couple of weeks. I should have not mentioned him.
Somebody named Jer, I don't know where Jer comes from. If white men, he tweets out, if white men become a minority, we will be slaughtered. Remember, now this is just like guilt and fear and everything.
Yeah.
If white men become a minority, we will be slaughtered. Remember, if non-whites openly hate white men while white men hold a collective majority, then it will be 1,000 times more hostile and cruel when they are. This is just paranoia and fear and a little bit of white guilt mixed in with all this stuff. But he definitely is. He's putting out an idea of apartheid, like well, we can't afford to let the niggers take control because they're gonna take revenge against us.
That's what they said about slavery. That's what they said about freeing the slaves and giving us the right to vote and giving us the right to bear arms. And absolutely. It didn't happen.
Absolutely, you're right. But the reason I bring this up is Elon Musk retweeted it and said 100%, and he went off on this whole yesterday. His and you talk about the rich people. I mean, he went off on this American apartheid rant yesterday about this kind of stuff, and one after another. Further, what they managed to accomplish in South Africa is what they want to inflict on all of us, meaning, the white people are now fleeing South Africa to come to America, where they're thinking we're going to be more re-apartheiding, whatever they think. So he's gone crazy tweeting out this white replacement theory and white paranoia that the minorities are going to fucking kill all us white people. We can't let them take over. And that kind of, there's a lot of people that will buy into that, whether they naturally are, whether they're people who get up every day hating minorities and people of color or not. You tell them enough that people of color want to kill you, and you tell them that often and often, and this whole idea of our history, they might start to believe that, and that's how you get them all on the same page with this stuff. And when you control the media, the narrative, the new media that people are listening to, that has great power to it. So you're getting people who aren't naturally haters to begin with, but filling them with fear that it's not good. No, it's not a good situation that we find ourselves in. So I don't know how we get out of it. So let's change gears just a little bit on a little humorous note here.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
At some point, we had agreed that we were going to watch the black tornado, the human tornado, and do like a reaction.
The human tornado, yeah.
Right. We never set up a date to do it. And if we don't set up a date to do it, we're not going to do it.
Well, forget about it. Yeah.
Like we did until just now.
I didn't forget about it. I was going to bring that up actually because of the Rev thing, and I know the Rev is listening right now. So, because this guy, this Isaac Brown guy who he's reviewing like the Beatles music and the Beach Boys and Steely Dan, and he's playing the entire album while he talks about it. Now I asked how you getting away with this? He's saying claim fair use because he's commenting on it. So I think for the Rev stuff, when he, like yesterday when he was talking about Madonna, he could have played that song and just like talked over it and say it's just fair use. I'm just pointing out line by line and stopping it line by line, like when she says this or whatever. And that, I don't know, it might get a little more traction and more people listening. This guy's killing by playing entire albums and commenting on it. Now with that human tornado thing, I think the same thing applies. But you don't want to ruin it by talking over the whole fucking thing, right? If we do it
now, we're talking Mystery Science Theater 3000,
right? And how do you exactly? And how do you make that like fair use? It's got to, I don't know, the claim for because. And I still this is not clear on how this guy is doing it, because every time he puts up a video, somebody's going to complain and hit with a copyright complaint, and then he has to respond to that with YouTube and say, no, this is fair use for every single one. That would be a problem. I don't know. So that's the issue with this watching or doing a watch party for the Human Tornado. We could do it like in a private room where it doesn't go out to the public.
But then how do we? But the whole point of us doing it so that we could share it,
right?
Yeah, so
I don't know.
I mean, I thought about that myself, and the Reverend also talked about thinking about using the music, and stopping it as we discuss the verses. But the repercussions is like I've gotten copy strikes for playing my own music because for some reason they don't realize that me and Urban Poet Society are like the same guy. I am Urban Poet Society. You
don't look like a society to me.
Well, it's underneath it. It's underneath. It's buried underneath the 4 layers of fat.
No, I've gotten. I'm not anymore because I figured out how to license my own music to myself. But I used to get copyright strikes for Matt Napo's music, even though my channel's name was Matt Napo. And the music, Matt Napo was filing a copyright claim against, and no, I'm not. I am him. Stop it. But when I license the stuff, when I publish the music now to Spotify or wherever platforms, Apple and all that stuff, I put the YouTube license in there so that I can use it. I license myself. It's fucking crazy that you have to do that. But this is my. It's like I'm a scared. That's a Long Island term for scared or frightened or afraid. To pull the trigger on this, let's do it and then deal with it afterwards. Because I don't want a strike. A strike is a 1/3 chance of getting your entire channel removed permanently. So it's like, when do I get the bravery to give it a risk and then have to wait for the response and all that stuff? This Isaac Brown guy, I would love to get him on here so I could talk to, even just not necessarily on here, a phone call. How are you getting away with this? How the fuck do you deal with
here's a question. Do you think he'd be willing to tell you how he does it if he thinks other people will do it?
That's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? It's like if let's say he actually found a loophole, a legitimate loophole that says, and it's not even the regular channels. In other words, everybody, let's say everybody knows A, B, C, and D. Everybody knows A, B, C, and D. It's written in the rules, but that's not how you get away with it. You get away with it by E and F. And he figured out E and F. Do you think he would be open enough to tell us E and F?
Yes, because we are not him and we won't have the same model. His model is it's first exposure to music that he doesn't, as a young person. He's a different generation. So analogous to us, this would be like me listening to Frank Sinatra records and picking out stuff.
But if he plays it, if he does it on this show, other people can hear it. Like, for example, I'm not going to mention anybody by name, but my friend Phil, my former bass player Phil Peters, he sent me a link to a reaction video, and he goes, "You're going to love this." He was wrong. I didn't love it because I do not like reaction videos. I do not, and then not only that, but it's the same band. Okay, I love the Sensational Alex Harvey band. Okay, when I was younger and when I was in high school, I was the only person in my high school who knew who they were, and people found out about them because of me, because I made T-shirts that said SAHB or stuff like that. It got to the point where when they did my obituary for like I think the yearbook or something, or the school paper, it said that I was going to die in a Harley Davidson motorcycle accident, and the only person to come to my funeral would be Zal Clemenson. And of course, nobody else on the planet knew who Zal Clemenson, not on the planet, but nobody else in my school knew who Zal Clemenson was. But I was into Sensational Alex Harvey Band from the very first time I saw them on Don Kirshner's rock concert. Yes, Okay. John can hear the beeping. Okay, it's my battery backup on my It's the alarm on my battery backup. My battery's dead, and it won't go away. I have to unplug everything and find new outlets for everything. That's what that beeping is. So
yeah, well, there's a bunch of things that make this guy's offering unique, and I don't know if he would tell me, but I think he would, because first of all, there's not a lot of young music producers who can comment on this intelligently. Like he analyzes arrangements and recording techniques. The guy seems to know a lot about production as far as engineering and stuff, and he points out little things like that. You need a whole gamut of education around the recording process and engineering process to compete with him. You also have to be in his age group to kind of review music from your grandparents' and interest. So I don't think he has a lot of competition, and I'm certain he wouldn't view me as competition. But to your point about other people listening to it and becoming, oh, well, that's a good idea, I'll try to replicate that. I'm not sure that would hurt him in any way. Or
now, is this the same guy that you were saying was amazed that didn't understand the technology that was being done back then? Like, just talking about how did they do this without these machines? Like, well, they looped, is that the same guy?
I don't think so, because he understands. He definitely understands. He brings up, like, this was done on a 4-track machine, and for people who don't know,
because the person you was talking about didn't understand that stuff. It's like, how are they doing this without computers?
Yeah,
and it's like, well, that's because back then they were innovative. They understood, you know.
So I don't know if he would. I don't know if he's got a lot of competition or anybody who would want to compete in that space, because a lot of people his age have no interest in listening to Beach Boys records, and I don't blame them. I don't have a lot of interest in listening to an entire Beach Boys album. But there's, anyway, I want to bring up something. StreamYards has this AI stuff now that is competing with a lot of these AI things that you go out and buy extra for, and they include it in your plan.
I've seen it whenever we go off the show.
Yeah,
I get this little thing that says AI clip or something like that. Wanted to offer, and I'm like, I don't feel like, no. I haven't tested it yet.
Oh, well, we generate clips. We only have one more in our plan. So, Slaptail saying, "What's that beeping?"
That's me. That's my battery backup.
That's his beeping. I'm glad you could hear it. I wish I could hear it.
Well, I just said I was waiting for someone else to say if they could hear it. You know,
he might be just yanking our chain.
No, I don't think he's yanking the chain.
Can everybody else hear it? Look, chat room. Who else hears it? Or Slaptail yanking? I feel like could be a combination of yanking and non-yanking at the same time. A yank and a non-yank.
Now I just changed the setting on my microphone. I don't, because I think there's like the Omni setting, and then there's the other setting. I don't know. It doesn't. Now, funny, it has 2 lights. I don't know which light does what.
We donated some. This is Heavy Kev saying this. We donated some music free for mental awareness short film in the UK. When film came out, we got copyright strike for our own music. Sunshine says she can't hear it. So I think Slaptail. Anyway, so with StreamYard, they're not as. Some of them. How do I say this? The Opus clip will give you a rating on how good this thing's chances of getting engagement on YouTube or TikTok or wherever you might publish it. They'll give it a score and say this is a good one, and StreamYard just calls it high virility. But they've been very good with that stuff, and the thumbnails they've been very good with, and all I have to do is hit the publish from there, and it goes directly to my YouTube channel. Love that. But there was you recall, we had Blind Mike on the program, and he wasn't really talking to you. He didn't even know you were there in the thing. But they made the clip look like it's just you and him having this conversation about Stuttering John, which is very weird. And the title of it was something about like how mockery fighting mockery or resisting mockery can be a good or not resisting the mockery is a good tactic to take when people mock you. Now this is about Stuttering John mocking you, and it looks like he's talking directly to you in this clip, which he wasn't. He didn't even know you were in the room. He had to ask about it later on. But the thumbnail they decided to use is Steven going. So I'm like, what happened with this clip? This is the one time StreamYard's AI just like had no idea what the fuck they were even talking about here, or what it's Stuttering John talking to you. I mean, Blind Mike talking to you about where Stuttering John gets it wrong when people are mocking him. And they use Steven as the thumbnail clip, where Steven just kind of sleeping through the whole fucking thing and not saying a word. None of it makes sense to me. Maybe StreamYard's AI is like on vacation or something right now, and they had like the sub guy sitting in. I don't know. It looks like a good one. But I'm out of those now until next month, and then they reload your bucket with more generation credits. So. Anyway, so the channel was growing because of those StreamYard clips, and now not so much. It's actually taking a step back again. I got the thing last night. Rachel with a personal business matter. Sorry, I don't do personal business.
Only impersonal business. That way nobody gets hurt.
Yeah. I don't know. I get every day. I'm gonna go through this if I can. Every day emails from different AI things that are never make a video again, never have to turn on your camera again, faceless videos with AI. I can't tell. I can count probably from this morning over 75 of these. Today exactly 10 a.m. we are officially launching autonomous AI Magic Suites. If this isn't just another AI builder, yes, it is. It's exactly what it is. First-agenic website system, everything. Every day, I'm getting more and more of these emails for me to buy, and I'm not spending another fucking penny on this. Google Geo launch an internet AI business, faceless videos on autopilot. Start generating AI videos, collecting $300 per sale without filming, editing, or hiring actors. Every single day, I'm getting tons of these. Like it's overwhelming my box. And like, if everybody is just doing this, if you're getting all these marketers just piling on. Just buying these AI apps for faceless videos, we're just going to be. You think we're inundated with AI schlock now? My God, every day they're making these things more affordable, cheap to buy, and more people are jumping on them. Oh, it sounds good, yeah. Promising the world you're going to make $300 a day off of this stuff. I can tell you from experience, you're not going to make $3 a day. Not even. You might not make 3 cents a day. But the amount of them, you don't get these emails from people, right? These
No.
marketing
Well,
emails.
Okay. It's possible. I have 4 different email accounts. I have the one that I use for business, which is through my website. That one, and that is pretty good at separating stuff for me. So there's a lot of shit I know I don't see. Then I have my other 3 emails. Well, I have my other 2 emails, and then I also watch the Reverend's email, and most of his emails come from Spotify and YouTube and Plausible. Most of his emails come from there.
Link Cloaker, case studies, 6 figures, Burst AI, Bloom AI, and Sneak AI, Seed AI. Oh my God, all in one email. They want me to buy 6 different apps. I mean, it's so the point I guess I'm trying to make here is when everybody's doing it, how do people not see that? Do you think I'm the only one getting this email? Oh, look, I'm onto this big secret that nobody else is going to be doing to get $300 a day automatically without filming anything. I just put in a prompt and just sit back and collect my $300 every day. But if everybody starts falling for that, That just creates overwhelming competition. How do people think this is going to work? I don't know where we go from here in any of this kind of society where everybody is producing faceless AI videos that add no quality to anybody. Never take a shit again with a new bladder AI.
Now the problem is that's not how the bladder works. That's not how the bladder works. If he said new rectum or new sphincter AI,
he's not talking about your bladder. He's talking about AI bladder. This is a whole new or artificially intelligent bladder.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah,
I thought it was a product he made up.
Probably. But you should send out an email today and see how many people will buy. This is what we should do. We should get in the business of this fucking scam email thing. This is the fucking gravy train. This is how you make more than $300 a day. It's just send people emails about a fake product.
I would become the thing that I detest. One of the things I detest. I don't need to become one of the things I detest. Yeah, I can't be all the things. Yeah, but I don't want to be any of the things that I detest.
Fine, be that way then. No wonder they think you look like Steve. We should write a letter.
Yeah.
To who? To who? To Chuck Schumer?
To AI.
Who am I going to send my letter to? To Chuck
AI.
Schumer?
Right,
no,
to AI.
AI doesn't exist.
It has to exist. There's all that slop out there. I guess it's like writing a letter to Santa Claus. Write the letters, address it to AI. Write the letters, address it to AI, and see where the post office sends them.
Yeah.
Remember, there was the Miracle on 34th Street. They decided that look, Santa Claus is on trial at the post office. I mean, on trial, they took all the letters from the post office and dumped them there. Which I thought was like a unique solution. I thought that was funny.
I'm just taking a complete different tangent here. Did you tell the Rev how to pronounce Bob Weir's last name? Because I'm not sure.
Here's the deal. No, here's the deal. For years, I thought I was saying it as Bob Weir. Then he puts together a band. It's called Bob Weir and the something.
Bobby
Wolves.
and the Midnights?
No, the Wolves something. And the only way that makes sense is if it's Bob Ware and the Wolves. Like, why, it's like werewolves. Otherwise, I don't. And matter of fact, he was doing it. And he was reading it, and then he got to that part, and he goes like, "This doesn't make sense. Why would they?" Let me see it. Bobby, I think it's like Bobby Ware and the Wolves or something like that. Bobby Weir, Bobby, not just Bob, but Bobby. Let's see if I can find that.
Yeah, werewolf, wolf. I get it.
Yeah.
But I never even heard of Bobby and the Werewolves. But he's had lots of bands. The most recent band, and this is what was weird to me is, driving a long drive home from the paint stuff, and I ate a gummy, and your mind starts to think about things. And for some reason, in my train of thought, I was remembering being at a Dead concert in Lakeland, Florida in 1976. And I was on Bob Weir's side of the stage, and I was picturing myself in that moment, and I saw him crystal clear in my mind as I'm driving home. I get home, I go to check my email, and I see stuff about Bob Weir passing. I was like, that's fucking, that's a kumbaya coincidence. But like, why was I thinking about him as he was dying? It's not like I'm gonna, there's something magical about that moment. It's just like one of those weird, wow, I was just thinking about that guy and he's dead. And I didn't even know he was sick. So that made that compounds my surprise about it. Like, wow, that's weird. I was just thinking about him. And Elizabeth Croydon was one of the first presidents to say, oh, they took Bob Weir. I was like, what? They took him?
Okay.
Thinking ice.
The sentence says, all right. Bob continued performing along with the band's original run, ended following Garcia's death in 1995, later leading multiple Dead-related projects, including, you're saying Weir. I'm going to read it as Weir, right? Including Bobby Weir and Wolf Brothers. Okay, that's that. If Bobby Weir and Wolf Brothers,
I never even heard of that. Let me see.
And
who
that's
was
what.
in
And
that.
so when it got to that sentence, then he went back and said, "Well, maybe it's Ware, because that's the only way that makes sense."
Ah, all right.
Okay, and I don't know. I honestly don't know, because I never heard him say his own name.
Yeah, Bobby Weir and the Wolf Brothers. Yeah, was a profound set, but they were still, I guess, performing. Wow.
And
Under that name.
then Ben and Jerry had a flavor, which doesn't make sense. They had a Ben and Jerry had a flavor dedicated to Bob and his wife Natasha, called Jack Strawberry.
I know. I'm thinking that has something to do with one of the songs. I remember, and I wanted to look that up. Jack Straw, from Shakedown Street, right?
I don't know.
Jack Straw was one of his songs, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense to me. And on that, it says it's a tribute inspired by him and his wife.
Yeah.
So did his wife help write the song? I don't know.
I don't know either. See, this is the thing. I was never a Dead. I had gone to Dead shows, but never a big fan of the never a fan of the Grateful Dead. As far as their catalog of music, I know some of the songs. I played some of the songs, but I don't know them well enough to know. It sounds like Ben and Jerry, or at least one of them, either Ben or Jerry, was a deadhead and knew all of this stuff. Cherry, I understood the Rev's message. The Cherry Garcia makes sense. This Jack Strawberry, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It's to people who are not deadheads. It's like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to make a connection there?
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that's why the flavor never caught on. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, because they shop these flavors, they make these flavors, and then they test the flavors. Maybe it's not the flavor. Maybe it's the fucking name that is like, you know. I mean, Cherry Garcia, I can see people saying, you know, getting it right away, especially if you're a deadhead going, Cherry Garcia. It makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, even if you don't like cherries, you know what that flavor is about.
The reason I drifted into that stream of consciousness thinking about the Dead, because I have a friend who my first guitar teacher was a very successful guy. His name is Rusta Salvo. He's worked with Paul McCartney. He's written a #1 hit for Celine Dion, but don't ask me to name which of her songs that was #1 that he wrote on. He's a producer and a virtuoso guitar player, and he plays many instruments, and all of them well, and he's a producer. But he got angry with me about 2 months ago when I posted something about guitar. Like, I am just so sick of guitar solos. And he mentioned the solo on Peg, which is a lot of great guitar players think is one of the best solos of all time, and I do too. It's to the point where it doesn't feel like it. It just feels like a natural flow, not like a guitar solo. But my issue with guitar solos are like the Dead type of things, where Dead and Company, John Mayer. I don't need John Mayer to go out there and do a 20-minute Dickie Betts type of self-indulgent solo ever again. And I think for producers especially, and I'm trying to get Russ on the show to talk about this, is that producers especially got into this verse, chorus, guitar solo, verse, chorus nonsense, and it's just so overdone. And I appreciate virtuoso guitar players, people who put the work in to become really good guitarists.
Yes,
but I don't think we need another guitar solo, especially if you grew up in the 70s, a classic rock fan like me. Haven't you heard enough guitar solos in your life? Don't you want something different? Or are you ready for a glockenspiel? That's really.
Last night, I think we talked about this somewhere when I was saying that on my CD, we have a French horn solo.
Yeah.
You know, and there's another song where there's a vocal solo. It's like it's not a guitar, it's just the vocals change. You know, you got the same rhythms that you would have if it were going to be a guitar solo, but it's sung different. Yeah.
I'm all for it. And why I understand why, if you dedicated your life to becoming a great guitar player, how it might upset you if I said, I'm done with guitar solos. We don't need any more. But literally, almost it feels like de facto. There's got to be a guitar solo in every fucking song, and it's just like, don't we have enough? Is there anything new on that instrument that I don't know? It probably is. Somebody will come out and do something that, oh, wow, I never heard that on a guitar before. Or something
I
like that.
told my back when I was, like I said, when I was trying to find my voice as a guitar player, because the guitarists that I really admired had unique sounds that you could not duplicate. If so, like Brian May, not that you couldn't duplicate it, but if someone duplicated, they go like they're trying to sound like Brian May, or they do this, they're trying to sound like Steve Howe, they're trying to sound like Sugarfoot, they're trying to sound like George Benson. They had a unique style, a unique way of playing, and that's what I wanted. But I didn't have the physical dexterity to be that individual. But what I did have was this willingness. It was just a friend of mine who used to watch me play guitar goes, I see why your guitar solos are different. You cover more, my fingers, I could cover more range. And when most guitar players weren't using their pinkies and stuff, they're doing like the pentatonic scale, and they were like, covering like 4 frets. I was covering 6 frets. And so it just gave me more access immediately. So that's all. I had the same notes as everybody else, but I could have different phrasing because of that. And then I realized, but I also wanted, I like violins. I like hemitones. I like quarter tones. I like I like the notes between the notes between the notes. I like that sound. And so I wanted to get rid of all of my frets above the 12th fret and have it fretless so I could play my solos. And my bass player who had perfect pitch goes, if you do that, I will like disown you. He says, I could not take the dissonance.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with dissonance. He goes, I couldn't take it. Like you say, he had perfect pitch. It would drive him crazy.
Sunshine says, I like a drum solo.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, there are a couple of drum solos that, yeah. But the reason I'm bringing that I'm saying I don't is I was looking at some old interviews I did with Liberty DeVito, who was Billy Joel's drummer, and then Kenny Aronoff, who was John Mellencamp's drummer, and we were talking very much about drummers, drum solos, and all this stuff. And ironically, Kenny, they both were talking about the same instance in Jack and Diane, where it was done with a Lindrum. The original drum part of that song, the for Little Ditty About Jack and Diane, that's a Lindrum. And Kenny Aronoff is talking about the session where the assistant producer came in with this Lindrum box. He didn't know what it was. Like, what's that?
Right.
Like a drum machine. And then and he had already played the part on real drums in the studio, but then they wanted him to program it, so he went in and programmed exactly what he had already played. And then at some point, Mellencamp said it needs a drum solo at the end there. And I think if you're familiar with the song, right before go, oh, let it rock, let it roll. There's that drum thing, that boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. And he's talking about his dread and going on like, what am I going to do for a drum solo in the middle of this tiny little acoustic ballad here? And they were talking about that, but he was also talking about being intimidated by, oh, I'm getting replaced by machines and I'm going to be off the record now. And his thrill that, okay, they need me now to put this extra part in it. So at least I'm going to get on the record, because at the fear this time, and I talk about this a lot when we talk about AI, there was a real fear that drum machines were going to replace drummers and put them all out of work. It never came true. So with that, and he says, in the interview, and this is before the interview was done before this big AI craze now where everybody's doing music AI. He was saying technology, we're faced with all those technology changes all the time and learning to use them and adapt to them. But his story was about that. But then it was about drum solos too, and like how long drum solo, again, guitar parts, I feel the same way. A guitar little segment that is 2 bars, 4 bars, whatever. The problem with guitar players is they want to do it for 20 minutes, like those Allman Brothers or Grateful Dead stuff, where come on, is this a guitar solo or is this a whole fucking concert of just a self-indulgent guy running up and down scales? Who needs to hear that fucking crap?
Now there's like Steve Howe, who I adored, especially in the 70s. He was like one of my guitar gods. He had Mood for a Day and The Clap. Okay, those two songs were basically like, how should I put it? They weren't guitar solos, they were instrumentals for the guitar, but it was just the guitar basically, you know? And I like those kinds of things. But the guitar solo, like one of my favorite guitar solos is I'm saying one of the guitar solo on Bodhisattva by Steely Dan.
Yeah,
I love that guitar solo, both of them. Okay, because two different guitar players. And now it makes sense to me. I didn't realize those two different guitar players. I thought it was just Rio's, Diaz.
Yeah.
I thought it was just him, but that because that guitar solo used to kick my ass. I've never gotten it note for note ever. I cheated. I would get enough notes that people were like, that's that solo, I know it, and then I would just cheat my way through the rest of it.
Yeah.
But even then, I could not stand that guitar solo if it were like 5 minutes long.
Right. Yeah. So the idea with these drum solos, like, yes, that kind of the Phil Collins thing in the air tonight, and this comes like in Ringo in the end of at side 2 of Abbey Road, the song The End, and Ringo do 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 boom 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 boom. That's his drum solo. It's not a Buddy Rich technical demonstration, but that's a little drum part in there. Those I love those. But when you talk about like the John Bonham 20-minute thing in Moby Dick when they do it when they did it live, I would go out and this is the time to go to the concession stand or something. It's like it bored the hell out of me with a long drum solo, especially these guys who they start out. Neil Peart would do this. Just start out showing off all his technical skills and ability, and like for 5 minutes just doing everything that make you go whoa, and then break it down to like real quiet and just working on a cymbal, and then he's gonna build it back up again with the and it's like, oh man, how many times do we appreciate the technical ability to do that, the fact that you mastered it, the fact that you can do it, but if you ever want to bore the piss out of me, that's the way to do it. I mean, I'm sorry. I appreciate your technical skills, but you don't need to impress me that way. Give me a song that sticks in my head, earworm, something that I'm going to remember driving home that I can't get out of my head. It's far more impressive to me than somebody just showing off what they can do. I get it. That's why you have a hit record, is because you can do all these things. You don't need to prove to me every little drum lesson you've ever taken your whole life, or guitar lesson you've ever. I know that it's great that you can do that lick, but you don't have to. So I get a lot of. I piss a lot of people off when I say musicians who are very proud of the work they put in. Nicest guys bringing up Martian. I want to talk about that too, with all these guitar virtuosos, and this what we've never. As much as I've talked to a lot of musicians, I never bring up, what do you think about these acoustic percussion? They want to play drums on it, and they set up their guitars for all these Martians. One of these guys who's got this plate where this is the snare drum tap, and this is where I'm gonna, and he uses the long fingernails, which I hate, like the lady fingernails, to do the little kind of rolls and all this stuff across the top board. This is a movement now. All these people who feel like I have to do acoustic guitar and be a one-man band at it, and there's a lot of trend in that. Mike Dawes and Tommy Emmanuel probably started it, but now they're coming out of the woodwork, all these guys, and it's just like, where does that go? And for these guys who play electric, like, and just become shredders, you never see them going down that route, like abandoning the electric guitar and going back to acoustic guitar and trying to become one of these Martin type guys. And I don't know if there's room enough in that competition for all that kind of stuff. The thing I don't like about Martin is he's dishonest in some respect about what he's doing. I appreciate his talent.
I know that back in the day, in the 80s, maybe 90s, I used to play it when I used to play at church. It was an acoustic guitar. Yeah, basically it was an acoustic group. There was 4 or 5 guitars, depending on how many people showed up. And because I was late to the group, when I joined the group, I was like their 5th guitar player, sometimes the 6th guitar player. So as a result, I would, like I said, that's when, instead of playing what everybody else was playing, I would play capo 5 or capo 7, and I'd also do percussion on the guitar while I'm playing. But that was only because we had so many fucking guitars, all playing the same thing, So, John, I told you the beeping is my battery backup on my thing. I have to get a new battery backup.
Is he asking again? What?
Yeah.
What did I miss here?
Yeah, he says, seriously, what's that beeping? And I tried changing my microphone, but
no, maybe he's talking about my pacemaker, because my pacemaker is giving out right now. But that's fine. Beep beep beep.
Yeah, it's long continuous. It's a long continuous beep. It's like
you would think John would be familiar with the being a nurse practitioner and all, that he'd be familiar with a flatlining.
And that's what it sounds like, flatlining. It's like
So that's me.
Yes, I'd say when I see these guitar players, I mean I commend them on the fact that they've decided to add plates and stuff like that. Fine. I mean, I hadn't seen it. I haven't watched it. Because it's something that I did. I went through that phase. I did it. I've outgrown it, or either I outgrown it or the arthritis kicked in and I couldn't do it anymore. Like right now, it's the arthritis. I would love to be able to be a guitar. I would like to be peak guitar shape like I was back then. Even though I wasn't the best guitarist, I'd love to be back at peak shape with the speed and stuff. But I had the arthritis,
You can't go back. You can never go back. You'll never be young again.
I have to reinvent. I have to reinvent my style. And the frustrating thing is I still hear the music in my head, but I'm not good enough to play it. I'm not good enough to play the music I hear in my head. And it's frustrating. And that's part of the reason why I stopped playing in a band. Stopped writing music, because I could not play what I was writing in my head.
See, that's been the story of my entire life. There was never a point where I could play all the parts that I wanted to, that I could imagine. And I've never felt adequate in playing the parts that I imagined, and that's why I kind of hired guns and people like that to play parts like that. But of course, it gets worse as you get older. And but I was never satisfied with my own playing. But that didn't stop me from writing or hoping at some point maybe I could realize that sound or produce that sound some way. Hire the right guy, hire the right girl.
Well, I mean, I was not, like I said, in the beginning, I was never able to play there's some things I was never able to play, but I could get it close enough that even that I could maybe do it with 2 guitar tracks instead of just one. I could like say, okay, I will double up on it. I just can't do it live.
Right.
Or things like that. But I could get close enough that I could say, okay, that's it. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for.
All right. Let me get them a preview of what the week looks like here. I forget. It's all in the bucket, but I don't know off the top of my head. What's going on here, Calendly? You're not giving me my. Is Calendly down? What am I getting? I'm getting a blank white page. This is not good. Now I have no idea who's coming on. Is my internet down? Am I frozen?
No. Not to me, no. Well, let me see. What's the next date? The 13th?
Yes.
It says, "Are we still here?" I don't know what that means.
Yeah. So there's a lady who can't spell her own name.
Okay.
Let me just explain that, because I've done the same thing. If you look at there's a Gmail account that's Matt Bappo.
Yeah.
She in the Calendly stuff spelled where she made the appointment for tomorrow. misspelled her last name or typo. And so it took me a while, and I still can't. Wilder or something. Whatever. I thought it was Holly Go Wilder or something. I think it's Gut Wilder. I'm not sure. She's an author, and then Reed Davis comes after that. So I don't know. I can't get in there and find out. They're blocking me. Calendly is blocking me for some reason.
Let me see. Well, are we still here? That show is, let's see. Holly G. Gutwillinger.
That's what I'm talking about.
Holly B. Gutwillinger.
Yeah, Gutwilder or something.
Gutwillinger.
Yeah,
and that's the first hour, and the second hour is Reed Davis,
right?
A double board certified holistic health practitioner.
Right. Yeah, he's a nutritionist, right? That's what he's.
I think so.
That's what we're talking about tomorrow, and then Wednesday.
Wednesday, it's
Granite Mountain
Sounds. Yeah,
Granite
Mountain Sounds.
Yeah, here's the deal. There's a nickel for you. On Facebook, there's Colton Curtis. What's his name? Colton Burris, who's got a band, and he's got a Facebook page. And I went to him and I messaged him and said, "You want to be a guest on the show to promote your music?" And then I guess the guy who runs Granite Mountain Sounds responded back. I guess he runs that page. He said, "Oh, Colton would love to come on, but I'd like to come on. I'm a songwriter, and I'm promoting him and trying to get him to blow up a little bit." So they'll both be here.
It's separate, the same hour, or separate into? It says 1 hour.
I think they'll be like holding hands in the same studio now.
Okay.
Yeah, at the same time. And then Thursday, Mitch
Music
Samu.
and travel.
Yeah, Mitch Samu, who is going to be the pianist. He's a big pianist. Somebody I knew 50 years ago and haven't seen him since. Will be on the program talking about a new course that he's going to be launching, 5-minute piano lessons, an online course, and a travel expert on that. Who's the travel expert? I don't remember.
Born in Montreal, Candice Necrophiliac? No, Necphie. Candice Necphie, N-A-C.
Yeah.
P-H-I-E, Necphie. Spent years backpacking and working around the world.
Backpacking, yeah, that's interesting, right? Backpacking around the world. So we'll talk to them on, and then Friday we have no guests, but I'm figuring Ron Kane will be here to talk about bisexuality or something.
Okay.
Now, do you know? Does Ron include himself in that bisexuality? Is he sucking dick? Then
I have no idea.
Because this is something every time
he says the whole world. He says the whole world and everybody, and that's the thing is that's why I don't like absolute terms like that. You know, I don't like what someone says, "Well, you always," like, no, I don't always. I'm not doing it right now, whatever. Or I don't. So I don't know what he means by that, because the whole country is bisexual.
We have to press him on this. If he's here on Friday, we'll have to ask him if he wants to suck your dick or my dick, or what does it mean?
I don't even want to go there because he and I are alone too often for that. I don't want no.
Well, I just want to say I'm not bisexual. How about that? I'm not, and I have no interest in sucking a dick. Ron is very open-minded, if you know.
Not just very, very open-minded.
Yeah, I get it. It's easier to say than very. Anyway, let me just respond to this Sunshine comment. My friend tried to teach me to play guitar, but my fingers would not cooperate. There's a possibility.
Have you tried using your toes?
Well, there's that too. But there's a possibility that maybe the teacher wasn't all that great, right? It's the finger part of it. It's not all that, and you can help people get over the. And there are exercises you can do to actually make your dexterity improve and all that stuff. Nobody needs to be, not everybody needs to be a shredder, but to play basic chords and to write music and stuff. If a teacher can't help you get to the point where then try a new teacher. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that's necessarily the case here, but
when I was teaching my little girl to play guitar, one of the first things I did before we bought the guitar, I was teaching her how to roll coins across her knuckles, you know, and then also how to roll little ping pong balls between her fingers and stuff like that. You know, I was just
King
teaching
Kong's balls?
Yeah, King Kong balls. Or, you know, ping pong balls between her fingers, and like I said, that kind of stuff. She says, "Dad, I understand why I'm going to say because it's all dexterity." You know, and once we bought the guitar, she got her an Ovation. I bought her a much better guitar than I had, man.
Why would you do
But
that to somebody? Get him an Ovation.
because that's what I wanted her to. I let her pick out her own guitar. We went in the
Why?
stores, and she
liked that round back thing because
she loved. Yeah,
Why would anybody want that? I don't get it.
I don't look, and so, but she played it. She liked it. Well, play it. She didn't know how to play it, but she held it in her hands, and she plinked at it, and she liked it. And so we had an agreement. I said, "Here's the deal." I said, "This is a very nice guitar. It's nicer than any of the guitars I've ever had, and probably nicer than any guitar I'll ever buy for myself." I said, "So if you give up guitar, do not sell this guitar. Don't give it away. Don't break it up. Don't sell it for parts. I will give you the money that I just paid. No, I will buy it from you for what I paid for it. I will buy it from you. Do not, do that." And
I
but
feel
of
like
course,
I have to bring up my curiosity about this because, and you know this, that during the 70s and early 80s, Ovation was a very sought after brand. People were talking about how the rounded back is better for the sound and all that stuff. But
right.
if you look now, if you go to a guitar store, you're not going to see any Ovations hanging up. You'll see Martins, you'll see Taylors, you'll see Quartz, you'll see Mac
Yeah.
Matin, Australian brand, very good. I mean, there's lots of elite brands of guitars. You don't see Ovations anymore. So either that the rounded back makes it sound so special was bullshit, which I always thought it was, or some other reason they went out of, maybe just because people couldn't sit with them on their laps and kept fucking rolling off. Whatever.
Because you couldn't lay it down in your lap and cut cocaine on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You couldn't switch your pot on the back of an Ovation.
And maybe it doesn't work with the Matin Martian guys, whatever. I don't know, but Ovation, that brand seemed to fall out of favor with a lot of people. Now, Cat, you remember Cats and Dogs, Cat Martin, who I used to do duos with. Greg Chaley gave her, this is how much he thought of his Ovation guitar. She went to visit Bisbee, Arizona, and he gave her his Ovation. Here, take it home with you. I mean, get it out of here. Just, so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I just did a Google search, and I typed in, "Why did Ovation guitars go out of business?" And it says here, Ovation guitars went out of, this is the first thing that pops up in Google. Ovation guitars went out of business primarily due to Fender's decision to cease U.S. production of the brand in 2014, which led to the closure of the new Hartford factory. This move was part of Fender's consolidation of U.S. musical instrument manufacturing as the company aimed to streamline operations and focus on other brands. Following this, the Ovation brand was sold to Drum Workshop in 2015 and later to GEWA Music in 2020, with production now being outsourced to China, South Korea, and Indonesia.
Wow. So you would think that would make them more valuable, right? Yeah, at least older ones that, it's like a scarcity. If we're not going to produce them anymore, they would become more valuable. I don't know anybody. I literally don't know anybody who owns an Ovation right now. I never see anybody playing one on stage. Honestly, I can't think of anybody who plays them. But for a while, they were the rage. Everybody had that one. Got it.
What? Yeah, no, just saying that. Just found another Google search, and it basically said the same thing, but in 2 sentences.
I like that. Now, there was the Ovation knockoff, Applause, which was the cheaper, and it still had the round back and all that stuff. It was like a copy. Applause was the name on the headstock. It looked exactly like an Ovation. Are they still in business, or was that the same company? I don't even know about this.
I have not seen the word Applause mentioned at all.
Huh.
It says the brand remains active, but the standard commercial U.S. production that made the guitars widely recognizable no longer exists. Now I'm going to ask it one other question. Do Ovation still have the curved back? In other words, it can still be out there, but not have the curved back. Like they said, you know something, this is bullshit. Okay. Do Ovation still have the curved back?
Applause guitars are an affordable entry level for a line from Ovation, designed to bring the unique features like the round back body, Lyricord. I never even heard of it as referred to as Lyricord, and quality electronics to a wider audience known for their distinctive look. Comfortable feel. No, uncomfortable feel is what you want to put in. It's just uncomfortable. Guitars are not supposed to have round back, and it's surprisingly good sound for what's of the price. They were the same guitars, but it was made by Ovation. According to Guitar Center, they still sell new Applause. That's weird. So they kept the knockoff brand Applause, which are lower value Ovations, and they're still selling new ones of those. Are they still making them? A new Applause guitar, like the top of the line, $378, $415 for an Applause. And this is fresh on GuitarCenter.com right now. So apparently they're probably still making them. Who the hell plays them?
And they're still making a round back design.
I don't like their electronics. They're talking about good electronics. I don't like them. Don't like them. Anyway. That's good enough.
It says it makes a more balanced sound across the entire scale.
Is it true? Yeah, I can claim
I don't know.
that.
I mean, let's put it this way. We know that different frequencies have not different shapes, but different the wavelengths are a little bit longer and shorter.
Yeah.
Right, the waveforms will probably respond differently to it's like being in a hall, like an amphitheater. You know, and like some notes like the bass notes will probably travel further than the high notes. So maybe there's a difference, but those things have to happen over distance. You know, it's like kind of like saying having a gold plated coaxial cord is better than having a copper plated coaxial cord, but you're only doing it for 3 feet. At 3 feet, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference until you hit like maybe 50 or 60 or 100 feet. Then the copper versus gold makes a difference.
Yeah.
But short distance, it doesn't. There's not enough time for there to be a decay of the signal. So I don't know if having a curved back makes a difference in such a short space.
If it did, more people would still be playing them. I can't think of anybody that I've seen in concert playing them in a long time. I remember Larry Gatlin was never a country star. He was never like thought of as like a Glenn Campbell type of great player. He was just like an acoustic strummer and singer. He was an endorser of Ovation guitars. That was like 1982 or something. I have not seen anybody on a major stage playing an Ovation guitar in memory in many, many years. And I think if there was some truth in the idea of the round back makes it sound better, then more people would be still playing it.
Okay, I just have a question for you, Matt. John Slaptail just put a question. He put an answer to a question that I don't remember the question from the beginning of the show.
Neither do I.
Okay, here's the answer. Answer to your question at the beginning of the show. Jesse Ventura. We're asking which governors used to be mayor. Used to be which governors used to wrestle?
Who's the leadership, I guess, of the resistance? Jesse? I saw that thing he came out with. Listen, Jesse sounded like a guy who got hit in the head too many times. He just kept saying, we have a system. That system is called the Constitution. No, the Constitution is not a system. The Constitution is a document that lays out what the system should be. But he kept saying, we have a system, and that's the Constitution. It's like, no, Jerry. Jesse. The Constitution is not a system. But he kept saying it over and over again. It's just like somebody's got to just shut him up. I appreciate his passion. I appreciate the fact that he is he's anti-fascism, but I don't think he's the leadership. And he was saying, "Well, maybe it's time for me to get back in the ring." No, you're not going to win. You're not. All that's going to do is muddy the waters, and who knows there's going to be an election anyway. But we don't need more. And I understand he was governor. We don't need more people from the entertainment world or the sports world or any of these getting involved and thinking they're the answers. And so, are people prepared to follow?
I think the people. I think the leader needs to rise up and not proclaim themselves as a leader. I think and that's why so the leaders will have to rise up from the people. And not because they're rich, not because they're handsome, not because they're tall, but because they have the backbone and they speak what the people need to hear and what the people are willing to listen to. So yeah, I could say, I mean, some people are like, well, Hakeem Jeffries is the leader of the Democratic Party. No, I'm just saying because he's the head of the minority party in the Democratic, doesn't make him a leader. Okay,
definitely not a leader.
Yeah, so I don't like Chuck Schumer. No, not a leader.
How did Jeffries of all people get to be the minority leader in Congress? What were the Democrats thinking when they?
The Democrats weren't thinking. I believe that Nancy Pelosi tapped him because who was that? Damn it! I just said his name yesterday. I was talking. Starts with an H, I think.
Just seems to be that Moskowitz guy.
He's about to retire. I think his last name starts with an H. But he was the one he thought he was the heir apparent after Nancy Pelosi left, and she said, "No, us old people need to step aside and let the new blood." And so I believe that Jeffries was tapped by her.
Yeah, I'd hate to be tapped by her.
Yeah. And when you get tapped by Nancy, that's good stuff.
I know Jared Moskowitz is very young in congressional. I think he's only been there around like 6 years or something. But I love his passion. I love his courage to just fucking call it out without getting profane and all this stuff. He definitely is. But Jamie Raskin I like, but people will point, well, he's gonna die or something. He's gonna get cancer again. Why he had brain cancer or something like that?
I believe he did. But his hair is back. His hair looks good.
Yeah, but
his yarmulke fits again.
I love his passion and I love his thoughtfulness. Like he does his homework. He brings receipts whenever he's talking about stuff. And I love him. But I don't know where that leadership comes from. And I'm not necessarily saying that this person needs to run for president or any of this stuff. I'm saying somebody to set the direction for what the resistance should look like, because I don't feel like just getting out in the street and blocking ICE or like these last minute movements.
Steny Hoyer. I knew it started with an H. Steny Hoyer was the one who thought he was going to be the heir apparent once Nancy Pelosi retired.
Who is it? I don't know.
Steny Hoyer. Just another old white guy.
From where? What state was he from?
Oh gosh, let me see. Steny Hoyer.
Really important, but yeah,
I don't even know how he spells his name. Steny. Okay, I guess there's no E there. Steny Hoyer. Where is he from? Oh my God! Don't tell me I screwed that up. He has served for decades. He's the former number two. Okay, never mind. I thought they were saying he was the 2nd district. But he is. I think he is Maryland. I believe he is Maryland.
Wow, how could that
be? Maryland's 5th district.
Well, now we're kind of even. I did not know Hakeem Jeffries was from New York, and you didn't know that guy's from whatever.
Well, I couldn't remember. I may have known. I just can't. How should I put it? I used to know all of my representatives, at least on the federal level, not on the state level. On the state level, and they're the ones that make most of the rules and laws for the state of Maryland. I don't know them from Adam.
Yeah, Adam.
I don't know him from Adam or Gavin.
So tomorrow we have Holly B. Gutwillinger. She is a creative writer from Toronto. Ontario, right? That Toronto is in Ontario, yes. I don't know my Canadian states. Do you? How many provinces are there in Canada?
I'm going to say 43.
That's a good guess, but it's wrong. I don't know how many there are, but I know 43 is wrong. And then Reed Davis, who's a double board certified holistic health practitioner, HHP, holistic health practitioner, and nutritional. Just coming up with fake initials now, and doctor of nutritional therapy, DNT. Well, what am I? I'm a PCH, right?
Mm.
Am I?
I am a 10. Oh man, I was way off. 10.
Or I'm a
10
PPH.
provinces.
I'm a PPH, paint party host.
I'm a certified forensic humorist, but that's different. That's actually a real thing.
Yeah. Is it
So
real thing?
10? Did it say 10? Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories.
10
provinces.
provinces.
So it's 13?
Yeah. Well, if you're going to count territories, then the United States has far more than 50. We have Guam, right? We have territories.
Yeah, okay, so
Puerto
10
Rico.
provinces, 10 provinces and 3 territories.
Right. So I don't know. Toronto, I think, is an Ontario province. I don't know that for a fact. I could be totally wrong. I could be totally wrong, but I'm a fool.
No, Toronto is part of Ontario, I believe.
Yeah. Sunshine says, thank you for the preview of the horror movie We're Living. You know what? I don't know. I don't know how people know I'm a pessimist. There's no doubt about this, but I don't see any way of this getting better until there is total destruction. Like Berlin, 1945, with the Fuhrer in the bunker, maybe dead, maybe putting a body double out there and running away to South America, whatever. I don't see any way we start to recover from this until it gets that bad. I won't be around for it to get that bad. I'll be one of the first people. I'll be one of the first casualties of the new civil war that I'm calling for. But I don't see without people physically resisting in much more ways than. Listen, I'm going to write a piece today, and it's going to cause me get some more hate from people I don't want hating me. I'm fine with the Nazis hating me, but I'm going to say this. Renee Nicole Good was acting foolishly. I don't think she's a fool, but I think she was acting foolishly. She's there giggling, and her partner there is come on, big boy, come and get me. You don't want to go out and taunt these idiots because you see how I'm sure she didn't expect to get shot in the head, but she was giggling the whole time, like thinking, I'm not even mad at you, dude. Like, this is going to happen. You don't want to put yourself in that position. That's not, you want to be thoughtful about how you resist, and you want to
yes, and that's what I was saying. You have to be aware. You have to be aware of the consequences, because like I said, a lot of these guys are unfucking stable.
Yeah.
Okay. So for you to go, I mean, I'm like I said, I don't advocate for violence. I'm not, but I'm not discounting it, and I'm not saying there isn't a place for it. I am ready to do violence at any given moment. I just need that to be my last resort. Yeah. I need that to be that, because I will not be merciful.
It seems like, and I'm absolutely positive of this perception, whether that means it's right or not. But I am very convicted that I'm right about this. She had no idea how serious that moment was. She said, go ahead, dude. I'm not even angry at you. And the other, her partner there was going, come on, big boy, you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
They were not cognizant of the fact that these guys have nothing to stop them from just pulling out a gun and shooting you point blank in the face. And by the time she figured it out, of course, she was shot in the face and driving away.
Now, because again, I don't like playing the black card, but it's part of who I am. Because I was raised with that knowledge about police, when I was in a situation with a friend of mine who had been drinking, a white guy who had all of his privilege on display. I was driving, he was in the passenger seat, and I said to him, I said, please don't open your mouth. Don't say a word. Listen, because I had been through this. I'd been through this at that point from the time I was 15, and at that point I was probably 26. So I had like 10 years of dealing with that on a personal level, not just being in the car when it was happening to someone else, but happening to me. And I got it, and I had learned how to read officers, which ones want to beat the shit out of you, which ones are just full of, I had that read at that point.
Yeah.
And I said, please, I said, don't say anything. Don't say, and he's like, well, what about, no, don't ask for badge numbers. Don't say shit. I said, if they have a badge, I'll get the number. I don't have to ask for it. I'll see the number. I just shut the fuck up. And I got out of it just fine, because he didn't display his, hey, dude, I need your, because, the last time someone, was a white chick who goes, we want to see your badge number. No, we will not cooperate. They took all the black people. They took the three of us. They left the white kids. They took the black kids, and they took our shoes, and they left us in the woods to walk home. They didn't touch the little white kids, and they didn't get the drugs because we hid the drugs under the guy in the wheelchair. He said all of our pot was under his ass, under the wheelchair, under the cushion in the wheelchair, and they didn't touch him.
Yeah.
No.
It's time to go. But just lastly on these, you know what? At some point, blue collar cops, back to blue, real cops are going to have a target on their back because of the way people are perceiving authority figures now. If we start to get the idea that they're going to just shoot me, people are going to start to preemptively act as if there are threats of fatal threats without there actually being a fatal threat. And an innocent cop, a good cop, is going to pay the price for this. So I think if good cops need to be aware of this and join the anti-ICE movement, the anti-fascism movement, they're making all cops look bad. And they're not even cops. So,
my thing about law enforcement as of right now, if you have a mask and you approach me, you're not law enforcement.
Absolutely.
You're the enemy. Yeah. And I will have to protect myself because I'm not wearing a mask. You know who I am. You see my tags on my car. You don't have to, you can find where I live if I'm doing something, you don't have to be a dick about it.
Yeah.
So if you're wearing a mask, assume that you want it ripped off your face because I want to see who's harassing me.
Well, as somebody who's had this happen, and I'm sure Renee Good, she knew those people were ICE. But with me, I was walking out of a deli and a guy with a black mask on, and my first thought was not this is ICE. My first thought legitimately is like, what the fuck is going on? And then my second thought was I'm being mugged. It didn't occur to me until this guy started yelling at me in Spanish and telling me I was going to be deported that, oh, that's what this is. These are fucking ICE guys. So if somebody comes up,
but that even still, that doesn't mean that really doesn't mean they're ICE. What I'm saying is because I knew a guy who had fake credentials for FBI.
Yeah.
And they carried a gun in bars because that was how he picked up chicks.
There is no doubt at some point, someplace in America right now, there is a real mugger thinking, I could just put a black mask on and fucking mug people and steal their money and tell them I'm ICE. All I got to do is come up.
Well, three guys grab a woman and say, you coming with us.
Like that guy dragging a woman into the porta potty, saying he was. We don't know he was ICE. He put a woman in handcuffs. He was taking her in the porta potty, probably to rape her. I mean, that's the assumption there. But you don't know that he's definitely ICE, and that's the point of wearing a mask and just coming up to people, not identifying yourself. Any of this stuff, no badge, no. You can't expect to be treated as an authority if you're going to hide. It's ugly. It's ugly, my friend. All right. We got through this 2.5 hours somehow without killing each other. That's what they want. They want me to kill you.
It's not going to happen.
No, I'm not driving to Westminster, Maryland.
Yeah, that's right. Why would you do that? Why would you waste the gas?
I wouldn't.
I'm at that age where you can just wait me out.
I don't even want to leave home because I am definitely paranoid. It's driving to where I was driving Saturday night. Listen, I don't want to paint a neighborhood. It's not a troubled neighborhood, but I know there's a lot of Spanish people that live in that neighborhood, and I think ICE is just breaking into houses. Oh, you look Spanish? You look Hispanic? We don't care. You were born here. We don't care. We're just rounding them all up because you're brown. So I'm nervous wherever I go. This is my thing now. So I'm not driving to Westminster, Maryland. I'm not even driving to Wading River, which is one town over. So yeah. All right. So let's get out of here. People, I'm sorry for today. It's Monday. Right? You're back at work. Yeah. I'm back.
Well, I gotta go. Well, when we're done here, I gotta go fix the shower.
Go fix the shower, and don't forget to turn on your radio. Bye.
I
listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me.